up? What's up? What's up? How you doing, party people? How are you doing? I hope everything is well with you. I hope that you're having a great Sunday. I hope you have good weather. We're having good weather today, so I'm enjoying it. And I hope everybody is get ready for the work week, the new work week. I know how Monday is. I know how Monday feels for me, so I know how I can understand if someone don't feel how they feel about Monday, because it's like, oh my God, like I don't even feel like I even had a weekend, right? And you just right back to work. But shout out to every single one of you guys, and the ones who are just coming in just to come in to say hi. I know y'all are busy folks and you have things that you have to do. Just make sure you hit the like button for me. I truly appreciate it. Or you can hit the down button. It is what it is. It definitely helps the algorithm. And share this out to anyone who likes to review this type of content, or even participate in an immersive chat where we could talk about these cases. So guys, the first one that I have for you today is a detective ends up tricking a killer into confession. So apparently there was a victim. He was 52 years old, I believe, and they thought that it was a person who might have been intoxicated when the police was called. However, that wasn't the case. When the police arrived on the scene, they had gun wounds to the said victim. And apparently, I think that someone told or they saw on surveillance who could have possibly harmed this individual. So the supposed or suspected killer had an interrogation with the detectives, and they were able to use some of the tactics that the detective used to get the person to confess to a crime that they committed. Now, I want people to understand something, right? Even though they use a tactic to get that person to confess, you really can't confess to a murder unless, number one, you actually did it, or number two, you were coerced or you had some type of fear of something else happening if you do not confess to a particular crime. But the tactics that are being used are what I would say, like an even playing field. If you say something out your mouth that makes you seem guilty or pretty much says you did it, when they add that up with the evidence, that is not them forcing you to say that you're guilty. But we're going to take a look at this. I think this is something definitely something that we need to review. So let me go ahead and pull up my screen and we can get into it, okay? And shout out to everyone who's in the chat. Here we go.
You're either a cold-blooded killer or a guy who was just taking care of business. Which one are you? Which one do you want the community to see? Because don't let John and I leave here today thinking, holy I guess he's just a cold-blooded shooter. That's all he is.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Just 2 days prior, Michael Thigpen killed an innocent man to satisfy his own sick desires. And now, he thinks he can get away with it. However, detectives are already several steps ahead, because all of Michael's crimes were caught on camera.
We have you right there at the time of the shooting. We have people saying this loud car sped off and then showing us their camera showing that exact vehicle.
I'm scared.
What scared you about it?
I mean, one, a guy's dead. Two, I did it and I'm locked up forever.
On November 20th, 2019, at 1:39 a.m., the Michigan State Police received reports of a man down in the roadway on Cobb and Maple Streets. When responding officers arrived, what they found wasn't a drunk man collapsed on the ground, but 54-year-old Roosevelt Thompson fighting for his life, surrounded by .45 caliber shell casings. Although paramedics and first responders tried to resuscitate him, his injuries were fatal. 2 gunshot wounds to the head and 1 in the chest. And finding the likely killer proved to be easier than imagined, because just days after an investigation was launched, cops received an anonymous tip. According to this individual, the murderer was Michael Thigpen, a convict who had served time in federal prison because of several firearm-related offenses. Now, he allegedly used a .45 caliber pistol to murder an innocent man. But why would a convict ruin his chance at a new life by killing someone he wasn't even connected with? Was there more to the story than met the eye? To answer these questions, Michael was brought in for an interview on November 22nd, just 2 days after the murder. The following footage has been provided to us by the Michigan State Police via FOIA request.
You willing to talk to us this time?
What about?
You know what? There's a few different things we need to discuss. If it's something that you're not comfortable talking about, or if it's something you don't have an answer to or don't know, you simply, we're not going to force you to talk. You know what I mean? So does that sound fair?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We kind of figured out you.
So I'm going to give the same spew. I always say it on this channel. Do not speak to these detectives. Please go get some form of legal counsel. Okay? Do not do it. Do not try to go toe-to-toe with these individuals thinking that you're going to have the upper hand. You don't. You know why? Because they're already coming in with some evidence that is leading them down to this path so they can ask the correct questions. And then once they start to speak to you, they start to get the feel of your personality, how you feel about certain things. They usually start off the interrogation or the interview in that way. And then from there, they know how to approach you going forward with the tactics. So unless you can read minds, like really, really read minds, and you know ahead of time what they're planning on doing with you or what they plan on approaching you with the situation, I suggest you just get legal counsel. Like, it's just that simple. That's why we have public defenders, even if you can't afford it. Hey, Joanne, how are you? I hope you're doing well, dear. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you're doing well this Sunday. Oh, Sean is here? I don't even see Sean. His name is not popping up. You know, YouTube been acting really crazy today. It's been changing people's I guess name handle. And some people are not even populating where I can't even see them. So that's quite weird. I don't even understand what's going on with that. But Sean, if you are there, shout out to you, dear. Shout out to you. I'm sorry you didn't pop up on the side where I could actually view the chat. But let's go on. Let's see what they have to say about to this individual and what questions he's going to answer and when he's going to feel the pressure and he's going to stop answering, because we always see this.
Live in Grand Rapids. Did you grow up in Kalamazoo?
Yeah.
Okay. When did you move out?
I got locked up when I was 17.
Okay.
And I really haven't been back since.
Okay.
I was here for about 6 months and I left.
Okay. And you might have a kid on the way with a girl that you're seeing down here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Run me through your day today before coming down here to talk to us.
Well, I went to Secretary of State. Then what did I do? Oh, well, first I went to my brother's house in Vicksburg. Then I went to Secretary of State. And then I went downtown to the plasma donation center.
Oh, nice. What do they give you, 50, 35?
Was it 75 or something like that?
Ain't bad.
And then I left.
Hey, Gomez, how are you doing? Shout out to New Mexico.
Called. I was going to take a friend.
See you, sir.
The friend's car I had. She let me borrow it.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to take her to work.
Okay.
I went to go pick up the girl, Deanna.
The girl you're dating?
Yeah.
Okay.
To go pick her up and
you get picked up. Whose car is this that you're talking about?
Her name's Tori.
Okay.
Rivera.
Tori Rivera?
Just a friend of mine.
Okay.
If you can call sleeping together as being friends, then Tori definitely qualifies as such. What Michael likely didn't expect was the fact that this secret relationship would blow up in his face, because when cops spoke to Tori, she revealed a number of important details. Firstly, their relationship began several months prior to this incident, and during this time, Michael would often spend his nights at Tori's apartment. This was also true for the night before the murder on Tuesday, November 19th, when Michael left Tori's apartment at 9 p.m. in her blue Ford Escape. He only returned nearly 6 hours later, on November 20th at 2:45 a.m., timing that coincides exactly with Roosevelt's death. Secondly, just a few days prior, Tori returned from work to find her apartment turned upside down. Just recently, her mother had given her 2 guns, a .45 caliber pistol and a .357 revolver, both of which were now missing. This is when she began to suspect Michael, who was the only person who knew about the presence of these weapons.
And who did she live with? She got like kids or husband?
So even right there, that's very damaging. It makes sense that the girl that he was dating with would actually come forth and speak about his whereabouts the day of the incident, when he left, and the fact that he has 2 weapons. Because now what happened? a potential, well, I would say a homicide that could have potentially been done by the man that you were dating, he used your weapon to do it. And you can, you can be responsible for that, especially if you're not helpful, right? So of course she's going to come clean. Of course she's going to say, hey, listen, one of my weapons that my mom gave me was missing. And, he left my house around 9 p.m. and didn't show back up until maybe 7 or 8 p.m. the next following day. My thing is, I think right now, what the detectives is also trying to fill out what kind of led to this guy shooting this individual. They mentioned that he didn't know this guy personally, right? At all. There was no history with these guys, so it's not something that was like a personal situation. So now they're trying to find out, was it a hit for hire? What does it have something to do as doing a favor for somebody when you were in federal prison and they told you about a particular person's whereabouts, his name, or what he looked like? Or did you need money for some particular reason, as in a robbery that went wrong? But even when they're talking about it, they haven't said that this guy, the victim, was robbed. They just said that he was shot and that was it. I don't even know if it was an argument, because they said potentially the police came to check on a drunk person that could be possibly laying in the street. But it hasn't really been confirmed whether or not if the person was intoxicated or if they even had alcohol in their system. So we'll see. We'll see what's going on. We'll see. Hey, Sean, now I see you. Hi, Sean. Happy Sunday.
Your daughter, but
Okay. She got a husband, boyfriend? Okay. And how long you been knowing her for?
about a few months.
Okay. Just a few months, and she's cool letting you use her car and all that and crash there? Okay.
Well, it's been about 5 months now.
Okay. I guess when was the last time you stayed in Grand Rapids at your house?
A couple days ago.
Okay. Today's Friday. What day would that?
I was there. I was there until Thursday.
Okay.
I stayed there last night, and I was in Allegan, and then I stayed, like I said, halfway in Allegan, half in Kalamazoo.
Mm-hmm.
So until Wednesday, I guess I would say.
Okay, so Wednesday, what time do you come down to KZoo on Wednesday, or this area?
I wasn't here Wednesday.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you just said until Wednesday.
No, I stayed in Grand Rapids till Wednesday. Then I got picked up around 2:30 from Grand Rapids by Tori.
2:30
a.m.
Mm-hmm. On
Wednesday.
It would be Thursday morning, technically?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not trying to confuse you. I just, sometimes when it's morning hours, it's confusing. All right. Now, what are you on paper for?
Yeah, federal, it's firearms.
Okay, so gun charge? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, any types of drugs?
Mm-hmm.
Not that type of thing? Okay. And Thursday you're in Allegan, so you weren't in Kalamazoo until, let's say, Friday?
No, I came down here Thursday afternoon.
Okay.
So it was about Thursday, about 2, around 2.
2 a.m.?
No, 2 p.m.
2 p.m., okay. Oh, yeah, because you got picked up at 2:30 a.m. All right. Before that day on Thursday, when was the last time you were in Kalamazoo?
Was it Sunday or something like that? Saturday.
Okay. And what do you do when you're down here, Sunday or Saturday?
I have to see my family, and me and her hang out.
You and Tori or Deanna?
No,
Deanna. Okay. All right.
Yeah, so I really wish that he would have just gotten a lawyer and did not say anything, because right now they are confirming the timeline for when the incident happened. If you said that you was at the girlfriend's house and you were staying there within the week, and now if they have any type of video surveillance, we don't even know if she lives in a building that probably have cameras in the lobby that lets you know that you was there that day. He specifically tried to move away from it. That Wednesday, I wasn't there that Wednesday. I took a trip and I was going down to Kalamazoo because I got family down there. So he doesn't really understand the trip up that the detectives just did, because you just stated that you was there for the whole week and that you pretty much are residing there, and then you went to go quote unquote see your family Thursday, or the next couple of days, which would be the weekend. So it's unfortunate that he's not really understanding what he's doing. You could tell even by how he's talking that he's trying to make things stick. He's not really trying to remember times and stuff like that, or days. He's just trying to make it seem like I was not there at the scene of the crime. I was not there when this particular situation happened. So now all of a sudden he's just throwing out random stuff. But the funny thing is, the detectives would go in, not only did they go and question his girlfriend at the time, right? That the place where he was staying at. They're gonna also go and question his family. Hey, did he actually come and visit you guys on that Saturday and Sunday? Did he actually go do that, or is he lying? So it's not looking good for him right now. Because right now he thinks that everything is calm, but it's not. They're getting a lot of things written down just for this little bit of information that he's giving now. They haven't even gotten to the hard questions to this young man yet about, do you know about a gun? Do you know this individual? Well, this situation happened at so-and-so at 11 o'clock or 11 p.m. Where were you exactly at 11 p.m.? They didn't get there yet. And he's already given up too much information. Tiffany Dickerson. Hi, Tiffany. She said, this is why you don't talk to them without a lawyer. Exactly, Tiffany. Shout out to you. Happy Sunday. Hey, Country, a.k.a. Bama. How you doing? Good to see you, sir. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Let's go on.
You're certain you weren't here any day before Thursday?
Yes.
All right. Is there any way we can verify that?
I live with my sister, so I'm always there.
Up in Grand Rapids, you do?
Yeah.
What's her name?
Shavonda Wells.
How do you spell it?
SHAVONDA. Wells, WELLS.
Shavonda did indeed verify information, but not the kind you're expecting.
Yeah,
Allegedly, Michael told her that something had happened and he didn't
you?
know what to do about it. But because there was an ongoing feud between the two of them, she didn't bother to hear him out. It was only when Shavonda reached out to Michael's real girlfriend, Diana, who he was cheating on, that she found out he still had guns despite being on federal probation. This means that there are now 2 statements that verify he owned guns and was acting strange, so bringing Shavonda up was not a very smart thing to do on Michael's part. Because in the face of witness statements like this, he might as well serve a confession on a silver platter for detectives.
Well, I'm here to tell you that the people...
Absolutely. The video essayist is absolutely right. You brung up your sister as she's gonna vouch for you. She's gonna vouch for you. But like I said, you had already given up that you were at your girl's house, or the girl that you was dating at that time. You were at her house for the whole entire week. You was using her vehicle. You told that in the beginning. So there is no, your sister's gonna verify that you was over there. No, you don't stay with your sister. You was staying with the chick with the car. See, shut up and get a lawyer. Right. This is why we always preach that here. Just stop talking and go get a lawyer. Go get a lawyer. You're just giving up so much. And that's because you're not thinking about the things that they might possibly already know. That's not even coming in his mind. Let's go on a little bit more.
People are saying undoubtedly that you were here before Thursday. Okay,
Who can say that I was?
Well, there's
nobody but my family that I come down here and see. I don't know anybody here.
Sure. No, and the thing of that is, it's not necessarily people per se. I know that you're not hanging out with a bunch of people, know a bunch of people down here, but it's 2019 technology. is kind of one of those things that really helps us out with different
Location
things.
and
So
all that.
yeah, you got location services, you have cameras, you have license plate readers, you have doorbells with cameras in them, all sorts of different things. And through those things, those are showing that you're down here, that you were down here earlier in the week. And I'm just wondering why you're not being truthful about that.
I wasn't down here earlier in the week. I told you when I got down here Thursday. I was in Grand Rapids.
Okay.
Until then.
Okay.
I mean, I think I left, like I said, Sunday, Saturday.
Sure.
I was here Sunday or Saturday.
Yep. But you were also here Tuesday going into Wednesday as well. You may have been back up in GR on Thursday. I'm not gonna
Maybe
doubt
just
you.
confused on the dates. That's
Yeah.
all. That happens to me all the time.
It could be. Today's Friday. Is it possible that you're confusing Thursday with the other day? Because you were here. We have you driving your vehicle that you were in today here, and also you on camera. So in that vehicle, I'm just wondering, are you confused on the dates? Perhaps is that a possibility?
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Most likely.
Okay.
Like, basically, what John's saying is this. And would you like to go by Mike or Michael?
Either.
Okay, Mike. Mind if I call you Mike? Okay, Mike. Let me tell you this. Here's what happens. A couple things that you got to realize. Technology is okay. There's technology everywhere. Like John's saying, everything from your cell phone. And you got to realize too, Mike. And I don't know how much they tell you when you're on federal probation or parole.
Probation, they don't have parole.
Okay. When you're on federal paper, okay, they do more tracking than they probably let you know. There's more to your phone than you probably realize. Okay, so we get a pretty good idea of your movements anytime we want. Now, it's not like they're sitting there monitoring your movements all the time. Okay, but when you're using that car, and you've been in that car for a few days now. Okay, that I can tell you. All right, and I can show you some video later on if you want us to show you that. All right.
I'm not denying that.
Okay, good, perfect. And I know you're not. That's why I just think you're confused on the days, okay? Because I don't think you're sitting here running a game on me. I really don't, okay? I don't think you're just doing that. But we have all this technology, okay? We have plate readers on the freeway now. There's plate readers at intersections.
Yeah, he might not necessarily be running game on you because he's not built like that to have that battle of the wits with you. He doesn't understand that. However, y'all are playing the game on him. You're saying that he's confused on the dates, so you're setting it up to when the incident occurred, what you have gotten from surveillance cameras, even whether or not if he was in the area or not, and you're setting it up and pretty much telling him when were you in the area when this situation happened. So you're just waiting for him to say, yeah, that makes sense. Well, no, this happened on Wednesday. Yeah, I think I'm a little confused. I probably thought I went to go see my family on Saturday and Sunday, but I wasn't there. But yeah, Wednesday, that makes sense. I was probably in the area. That's what they're doing to this individual right now. Yes, he's not ready for it. He's not ready for this interrogation at all. And honestly, I don't even know why he even tried. I really don't. He should have went and got a lawyer because unless they actually have good and clear surveillance of your face or even a surveillance of the situation happening on the street, because the guy was found on the street. So I'm thinking that they also have surveillance of that, whether if it was an argument between you guys or did you just sucker punch the guy and run up on him and do that? But it was quite deliberate that you shot this man 2 times in the head. And you didn't even notify the girl that you was with that you took one of her weapons, but you knew that she had 2 weapons in her house that was given by her mother. It sucks. Erleek says they're going to lead him directly to jail. Yeah, most likely. Hey, Southern, how are you doing? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Brenda said people play games and they need the players. That's a good phrase. He's too stupid to realize it too. Yeah. And if they ask, more than likely they already know. I agree, Sean. Watsa Thomas says that's their job. That's why you should always get a lawyer. Absolutely. We preach that here. Yep, people be incriminating themselves talking without a lawyer. Yes, they do. He did it to himself. I am in total agreement with you guys. Let's go on.
Directions, all kinds of bullshit, plus your phone, all those kinds of things, okay? So when we start tracking your movements and somebody says, hey, this plate reader was in this area, or we had this happen in this area, and this is what the plate reader told us, and that car is loud as
Thank you
shit.
for that. I'm going to write this down and put
An
it on the list.
examination of this car, which belonged to Tori, revealed a dent in the driver's door beneath the handle. But oddly enough, there was nothing to indicate that the car was used to hit someone, due to an absence of major damage and bloodstains. The only other clue was a bag containing a .45 ACP cartridge, which is oddly convenient considering that Michael stole the same caliber pistol from Tori.
Okay, so not only can we see it, dog, we can hear it. Okay, so we know where you've been.
Brandon,
Okay?
how are
So
you
they start
today?
tracking
Happy
your movements
Sunday.
electronically. And then when something happens, we go backwards, and at 2 or 3 different locations, we've got your car. Okay, we got the plate, we got pictures, we got all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
All right, so that's why I'm saying, don't be afraid to say, oh, I don't know if it's a probation thing or whatever. Don't be, oh yeah, I came down here on Monday, or I've been here laying with this girl for whatever. Maybe you don't want to get in trouble with your girl. I get it. You've been down here. Let's just admit that.
Here. I'm not even. I have been down.
Gotcha. Very good. So you've been down here for how long?
I leave every. I'm not here like all the time.
Okay.
I leave and I come back. So.
But let's say you've been down here. Well, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. All this week you've been down here, correct?
Have I?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You have. I'll just tell you have.
Okay, if you say so.
Yep. And I'm not.
No, dude, no. Stop the doggone interrogation. As of right now, you are not under arrest. They don't have you in handcuffs. They're having a conversation with you. They're just trying to work on the timeline. You literally need to just stop this. Like, unless I would ask them, am I free to leave? You know, or am I being detained? That's what I would do. And I'd be like, I don't want to answer no more questions unless I have legal counsel. Like, you are literally allowing them to like build up the case that you was there the whole entire week. And that every single time that they saw you or saw somebody who has the same figure, height, or whatever, that it was you. And they don't necessarily know that, right? Because these surveillance cameras are not all that good. And then this happens in the dark too. Like, this happened at nighttime. This didn't happen in broad daylight. You could have had a possibility to say, no, let me speak to my lawyer about it. Just because you was in an area that doesn't mean that you was the person who did this or committed the murder, right? The only thing that would probably really seal the deal to me personally, if they was able to retrieve the .45 caliber that was used for this homicide, and it can match the casings that was found near the victim's body, then I'll be like, it's a wrap, dude. Like, really, really, it's a wrap, right? I mean, but it's still a wrap for you anyway, because you don't know what the hell you're doing. You don't know what you talk about, and you're giving up too much information, and you're letting them set you up. But that would have confirmed that, yeah, you had to pull the trigger, because we already spoke to your girlfriend who said that one of her weapons was missing. So it's just like, come on, man. Oh, let's see. He's toast. Yeah. Hey, how you doing, Key? They're setting you up. Yep. Yep, exactly. But not everyone is legally intelligent. I agree. They don't definitely don't teach that in school unless you want to go out and get that information. Sean says, now you're acting like you're outsmarting them. Not going to work, Michael or Mike. I think it's Michael. Brenda said, is their job to lay down the trap? Yes, absolutely. Eric said, I have never agreed to interrogation in the first place, especially without a lawyer. And you shouldn't. You shouldn't. No, that wasn't me. Not Southern with the "is" wasn't me. Yeah, that was really stupid. He was driving around with bullets. Right. And on top of that, they have pictures of the vehicle. That woman that you was dating, Tori, you did this crime, and then you fled off with her vehicle. She has a very unique type of car. You would be the only person that would have access to her car. Keep quiet. Don't say nothing except I want a lawyer. Yes, Keith. Actually, everything I know is from watching true crime stories, actually. Oh, okay, Bama. The fact that he's still sitting there waiting for his punishment, yeah, I don't know. They can lie to you too. Yes. It's just not, it's really not considered lying. It's what they consider it is fabrication. And that is allowed because they can literally act like they have more information or more evidence than they really do, but they don't. They want to see if they make it sound like they do. Are you going to literally confess? Are you going to tell on yourself? That's what they do that for. It's like almost similar to poker.
I'm not being argumentative. I'm just telling you, you have.
Okay.
Technology tells me. Like I said, technology is a.
If you say
you have been. Okay. I'll go back and look at the records here before too long. But the bottom line is, you have been down here, and there's no sense us sitting here playing cat and mouse on that.
I have before, Miss Joanne.
So when we're down here, technology puts you down here. You're like, yeah, I've probably been down here. Maybe not all week, but I've been down here most of the week. Okay. Agreed.
For the past couple weeks, yeah.
Past couple weeks, you've been down here, correct? Good. Thank you. I appreciate it, because that's what it's showing.
I think so.
Right.
Okay. And
like I said, I was in Grand Rapids, so I've been in Grand Rapids, I've been in Allegheny,
I've been in Kalamazoo.
Yeah, you've been.
But you've been down here for a couple weeks.
Right.
Hey,
There's breaks where you go places. I'm not saying
how
you
are
don't.
you?
Okay. But what we do is this. So now we've got all this technology, all right? And then we'll have an incident. Let's say, for example, and I'm just going to use an example here. That I'm not accusing you of this, okay? Something gets stolen, all right? So what we do is we go back, we start looking at technology, all right? We look at different video cameras. We look at plate readers. We look at Ring doorbells. We look at all those kind of things. And let's say we see something on there where, man, something's loud as shit. There's a loud car on there. It's an interesting color, by the way. And, man, we got a plate reader 2 miles away that says it was this. Mm-hmm. So we ratchet that up. We figure out who's in that car. Boom. Then we go to, we can get up on your cell phone pretty good. Okay? So now we can tell from all those different bits of technology. Hell, it ain't even us. It's easy. I mean, shit, it's not even fun anymore because we don't even get to do any cool work no more. Right. We don't get to surveil anybody. We don't get to do all the cool detective shit, right? We just sit here like a bunch of office people, okay? And get soft. Clerical. Good way to put it.
Yep. Clerical work.
So once that happens, then all of a sudden we go and boom, we draw a beat on you.
Cindy, how are you?
And oh, geez, this guy was here. Wonder what his story is. Okay, then we go, okay, yeah, we work other stuff. There's a lot of shit going on in the city. Then, man, something else happens. And so then by the time it ends, there's 2 or 3 things that we start putting together.
One of the many pieces of technology that this detective loves is cameras. In the aftermath of the shooting, several locals came forward, providing footage from their Ring doorbell cameras which captured the very same Ford Escape that.
And this is why I wish that more people would, if you really do care about consequences for crimes that you do, you are in a technology world. This is not the old days. This is not even 1980s where these particular type of crimes used to go unknown, or it would be cold cases that later on someone like 20 years later would give you a tip and a hint that you can try to close the case. Now it comes by so fast because they're surveilling everything. Majority of the streets have cameras on them. There's cameras, we walk around with cameras and a computer, right? AKA phone. Every building has a camera. Federal buildings have cameras. You're constantly being surveilled. Surveillance, is happening. And people I don't know if, people are just not paying attention to what's going on, or even the equipment that they're using for their personal lives. You're being watched the whole entire time. And y'all still sitting up here doing crimes as if there's no cameras out there, or they're not going to see what happened. Yeah, of course they're going to ask you, right? They're going to ask you what happened. They want to get an understanding, but they can literally see what is going down off of a video, or even just hearing a recording. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why they think like that. Let's see. But they don't like the cameras turned on them. I agree, David, they don't. I agree. A lot don't. Oh, happy birthday. Happy birthday to the oldest. Yay. Lots of sugar. Party over here, party over there. Happy birthday to the oldest, Joanne. Happy birthday. Hey, Rehearse, how are you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Happy Sunday to you. Happy Sunday to you. So let's hear a little bit more. He's like literally sitting there getting cooked like a turkey for Thanksgiving, man. Ugh.
That Michael was driving at the crime scene. And if you thought this was incriminating, it only gets better from here, as the detective is about to release a motherload of evidence.
So here it is. I'm going to lay this out to you. We have a thing called shot tracker as well. Okay?
I don't know what that is.
Nobody does. Okay? I hope I've been telling you some shit about technology that I probably should be keeping to myself, but I think it's exciting. I'm old and technology is kind of cool. Okay? We have a thing called shot tracker. So what we do is this. It monitors where shots go off. Okay? And it's done by cell phone and through satellites. So we can pinpoint when shots go off, and it literally puts it on a map
I appreciate
for us.
you.
Okay? So we start monitoring shots. For example, up off a ravine road, we get a group of shots. Like 4 to 6 shots. Okay? Looks like maybe it's being fired into some water or something. From best we can tell from the echo patterns and all those kind of things. Okay? So boom. We put all that together, they look at the map, we look at plate readers, we look at technology, and then finally we pull up your cell phone and we can say, bam, this guy was right there at that time. Okay? So that's one thing I want to ask you about. Okay? So obviously you were in the area. Maybe you heard him. Maybe you saw it. I don't know. I'm not accusing you of it. Okay?
Well, like when I had the car, I ride around pretty much everywhere.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you remember being up in that area?
I mean, I don't know what day it was, but it probably was.
Probably was. Did you see or hear anything right around that time? Because we got your plate, we got your cell phone, we got all that shit with the echo pattern, and I mean, you're close, dog. You very well could have seen it or heard it.
I have the music up loud.
Okay, did it sound like a backfire maybe to you or something like that?
I can't really hear it. You know, the car is loud. Man.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Music. So.
Okay, so we got that one. So you always play, and that damn car's loud too.
Right.
Oh my God. I wish he was not talking. I really do wish that he had a lawyer, right? Because now he's literally giving the detectives the okay to put him at the scene of the crime. And he does not realize it. It is getting on my freaking nerves. He's saying, oh, there could have been a possibility that you heard a backfire, a shot. Oh, I mean, I could have probably been there. Shut up, dude. He doesn't know whether or not, he's not really sure whether or not if you were there. You could have been in the area and not at that time. He said that, oh, we got the car and we got your cell phone. Okay, cool. So what does cell phone have to do with it? Unless he called his girlfriend and let her know that, listen, I probably shot someone and I used your weapon. Them having your cell phone don't matter. This is not premeditation, right? This is not premeditation. He didn't know this man. So having your cell phone records don't necessarily matter. Then on top of that, so what? You was in her vehicle in that area. That doesn't mean anything. You're going to go and you're going to surveillance and see all the vehicles that's in that area at that time. So them just saying that doesn't, you're now putting you in the place at the exact time when the incident happened. If he's asking you, did you hear any boom? Did you hear any backfire? Did you hear any shots? And you're going to say, well, I don't know. I could have possibly, but I had the music up loud. You are an idiot, sir. Shut up and get a damn lawyer. Like, Jesus Christ. You're just giving them more and more information, and it's just so annoying right now. So annoying. Like, if you want to literally say that I don't even know what happened, I wasn't there exactly when the incident happened, why would you tell them that I possibly could have heard a shot? Do that make any sense? Do that make any sense? Herbert said, let me guess, brothers in the hoodie crooked, cook, doing 25 to life. Most likely. How you doing, Herbert? Sean, when we even have cameras in the South, I know the biggest cities are flooded with cams. Yes, they are. Joanne said, did I miss her answer to my earlier question? Oh, yes, you probably did. I said I have. I have before, Joanne. Not recently and not in a while, but I have before. I did answer your question. Herbert says satellites tracking bullets but can't find a stolen car. Yeah, and that is just like such a lie right there. But he fell for it. I saw this channel. Oh, okay. Let's see. You're being led into a confession, dude. Shut up. Yes, Bama, he sure is. He sure is. Let's see. Oh, Southern says, smile for the cameras. Cheese. 99% of the time, they never ask for a lawyer. I know. They're allergic to lawyers. I think they're just thinking about it's the money aspect. Even when the cop says you are free to leave at any time, they start talking. Yeah, that's true. No, I don't think so. Let's go on.
Okay, so your car sounds like a backfire a lot of damn times, right? Okay, so we got that one. Okay, so now you keep going on and you get other incidents that happen in the area. The other night over on Amsterdam. Boom, shot patterns again, 5 to 6 shots. Okay, boom, 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 shows up on our big technological center.
Thank you for
all this
viewing.
CSI
I appreciate
bullshit,
you.
okay?
Happy
So once
Sunday.
again, they put all that
Shout
together.
out to India.
What's
Thank
there
you so
again?
much.
Plate reader, less than a mile away on the north side. Got a Ring doorbell on that street, and we got your cell phone.
The doorbell that has a
Camera.
Guess what it was.
Yes,
a camera.
I thought I was the one that didn't know what that was.
I
Damn,
enjoyed
like
them
this guy.
too,
I knew there's a
Bama.
reason I liked you. He's not a technology guy. I love it. I'm not either. But that's why I'm telling y'all, because I think it's pretty cool and it's amazing. And technology doesn't lie. John might have an agenda. He might not like you. Okay. Technology doesn't care who you are.
Right.
Okay. So that's what I'm saying. Once again, Amsterdam. So we got a place over. I think it was Ravine Road up by some water. Okay. Boom, boom. Got a bunch of shots there. Boom, boom, boom. Now we're down on Amsterdam. Same thing. Same information it tells us. That's when we start looking for you. That's when we start piecing things together. Because we want to say, shit, is it this guy or is he? What can this guy tell us? That's where we're at. Can you tell me?
No.
Well, and I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you. And just don't bullshit me too much. Because and we're used to that a little bit. Okay. But the bottom line is technology doesn't lie. Technology is going to place you at some place. Okay. One time I could excuse. Twice is statistically, it's science.
So what he's doing right now is a tactic where he's controlling the narrative. He's controlling the conversation. And he's getting him to the point where he can just, he wants him just to admit or agree to the narrative that he's placing out. Yes, technology will find out that you're in a location. However, unless you have an actual video that shows this man shooting the guy, the victim, then just being in the area is not enough. If this happened on a very active street, or if this happened in a public area where there's restaurants and people clubbing or going to the bar, are those same people in the same boat as him that they could potentially be a suspect for a homicide just because they were in that location? And this is why you need to shut up and get a lawyer. Seriously, it's just really annoying. Looks and charms. So bro hasn't watched any episodes of 48. Nope, I don't think so. Oh, hell, I know people went to talk to police high as fuck. Right, exactly. I would tell them to speak to my lawyer and yeah, cop's favorite line. I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah. But it's just like, I guess seeing it from, not being in that perspective, I'm just going to give the benefit of the doubt that, he doesn't know what's going on. He really doesn't see how it's playing out and how they're literally getting you to confess that it could have possibly been you. You was there when the shots ran off, the timeline, which literally goes against everything that you said earlier about that you went down there to go see your family. But you wasn't staying there the whole day. You wasn't there for the whole day. You probably been there for almost maybe 30 minutes or an hour. And here they are conforming the fact that you was there at the time when this incident happened. The girlfriend had already confirmed to them that you left her house at 9 p.m. and you came back to her house with her, I guess, with her said vehicle around 7 p.m. the next following morning. like, you shouldn't have said anything, dude. Like, you could have been like, yeah, I went over there to go get something to eat. I don't know if there was shots going off. I didn't hear anything or whatever not, but I went to go get something to eat. I passed by for a couple minutes and I actually continue on to my family house. Yeah, you probably saw me on surveillance because I went to go get something to eat from the near restaurant in that area. That, you know, that's what you could have said if you wanted to talk to them. But I don't even think that it was wise. You should not have spoken to them. Because now they literally put in all this together, what they figured, their narrative about what happened, who was involved, who took place, and when you was there, and what vehicle. They're putting it all together. You're sitting there like, yeah, probably. I mean, I don't really know. Maybe I could have heard gunshots. I just can't believe he even admitted to that. Well, how are you going to say, yeah, I probably heard gunshots? Like, dude, you wasn't even supposed to be there, remember? Let's go on.
Tells us it doesn't happen. And then once again, technology. Okay, so we got your Ravine Road, which we're good with. May or may not have been there. I get it. Like I said, one time I can excuse. Okay, twice now I'm a little suspicious.
They do.
Okay, I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
All right. Obviously, you're in the same area where shots are fired.
You
twice.
eventually will.
Okay. Third time, 1:30. What are we at, John?
1:30ish, a little before 1:30.
A little before 1:30, we get another series of shots. Okay, I think it was three shots. Okay, we're in the area of Cobb and Mabel. That's on the north side. You familiar with that?
Yeah,
You drove through there because
Yeah, I was just over there this morning.
Yeah, tell me what you saw, because that's the video that I have. I have you on the Ring doorbell, driving through there. I have the technology of the shots telling me you're there, and I also have your cell phone track. Because remember, I know at 2:38 you're back up in Allegan. Mm-hmm. So at that 1:30ish, you're at Cobb and Mabel. Tell me what you see and what you hear.
Nothing. I'm just driving.
You're just driving?
Yeah.
You remember what you were looking for? What you were doing?
No, I don't do anything. I just this is what I do. I ride around because it clears my mind. That's it. That's all
cool.
I do.
Yeah.
I drive and then I go.
Were you with anybody when you're driving up there on Amsterdam, and when you're driving there at Cobb and Mabel? Are you with anybody?
No.
No, you're solo.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I can't.
No girls with you?
No.
Are you calling anybody?
Hey,
and I know you are, because
how you doing? Happy Sunday.
that's how we track this through the calls. It bounces
So
off
far,
towers
he's
and
being
plus your
interrogated
magnets, so we know
for
that.
a
I don't know
shooting,
who I called.
and he's letting the detectives
over
pretty much
there at one,
paint the narrative for
I don't
him.
know who I called.
It might just be your Google Maps. I don't know.
That's what
These
you're seeing
technology
so far.
guys just feed me
Google
information.
Maps.
That's all I know. So I do know that right around that time, the 1:30 time-ish, you're at Cobb Mabel, Cobb Elizabeth. I know earlier, probably 12:30, I can't remember memory. You come off of Elizabeth, then go south onto Cobb also. So remember, you're obviously circling it. And you're also over at one time, or you're also over by the polar bear. You remember that?
That's in that area.
Yeah, it's all in that.
And we also have that on camera as well. They got.
I was over there a couple times.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, why are you allowing these detectives to tell you what played out and what time it was and what day it was? Like, why are you letting them do that? Here's the thing, my G. If they really, 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 really had more than enough evidence and information that you was the person who committed this homicide, you would be booked right now. I mean, of course, they would want a confession, right? Because a confession seals the deal. They won't have any mistrials or anything of that sort if they read you your Miranda rights and got all that out the way. But like, if they really knew that it was you, you would be in handcuffs right now. They don't necessarily know that it was you. They still don't really know that was you. So they need this confession to make everything all the evidence that they got together, they have to make it stick. And the only way that they're going to make it stick so they won't have any problems is go and get a confession from this guy. Have him admit that he actually committed the crime. That works. Let's see. As Thomas said, when you tell a lie, make it small without a lot of detail. So you can remember it. But if they had a lot of proof, you did it, you would already be in the back. Right. It's just crazy. Crazy. The cops are giving him chapter and verse. Bruh. Right. They're literally telling him exactly how everything played out. Can a lawyer poke through this line of questioning? Absolutely. Absolutely. Actually, if he had a lawyer, they wouldn't even allow this type of line of questioning. They would say that you would be leading this my client. You're leading my client to agree to things that they're necessarily are not really even aware or sure of. It's not like they sat up there and they was looking at their clock saying, okay, I'm literally going to go to this spot at 9 o'clock, or I'm going to go to this spot at 10 o'clock, and then I'm going to leave this spot at 30. They're literally giving him time as if he was literally watching the clock to do this quote unquote act. The lawyer would have definitely questioned that. They would have poked through that. They would have definitely said that they're leading him with their narrative and not exactly what happened. But let's go on.
I went there and bought a couple different Red Bulls.
That night?
Yeah.
From the polar bear?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what time that was?
Nope.
Okay, I can look it up. Yeah.
What are you doing cruising the block?
I just ride, like I said, I ride around because I got nothing else to do.
It is important to translate Michael's speak here from nothing else to do to I was itching to shoot someone and riding around to hunt someone down. This is because, according to the anonymous witness, Michael frequently expressed his desire to shoot and kill the next person he sees. So much so that he had bought a box of bullets and a magazine for the stolen .45 and would frequently visit Ravine Road to empty bullets into a body of water. But fueled by his urges, Michael left crucial evidence behind, shell casings at the locations where he did his test runs. When officers collected these casings and ran forensics on them, they were covered with Michael's DNA. Additionally, they were found to be similar to the casings found at the scene of the crime, positively linking Michael to the crime. Even Michael's girlfriend, Diana, admitted that while she was on the phone with him 4 hours before the shooting, he continuously expressed his desire to shoot the next person he saw. In the face of this irrefutable evidence, it isn't going to take long before Michael begins to crack.
This is why I'm over there, because nobody over there
All right.
at that time.
So we kind of established that you're in that area. You're riding around. You just like to ride, you clear your head.
Right.
Ain't nothing legal with that, is there?
Right.
Okay, so here's what we do. A lot of technology.
So Joanne said, but is it too late for him? Yeah, it's definitely too late for him, Joanne. The video essays also mentioned more details that the girlfriend said that he did send her texts about him trying to harm or shoot the next person that he saw. It's like some random shooting. He was already explaining to the cops that he just likes to ride around. He likes to ride around and drive, to clear his mind, clear his thoughts. So that already shows that something was bothering him. He has some form of anger that he needs to find some type of relief. And then those messages that he sent to his girlfriend is quite damaging because he was literally in the environment or in the location exactly when somebody got shot, and you sent text messages saying to your girlfriend that the next person you see, you was going to shoot them. That's not good. Looks and Charm said, I'll tell them to show me the video since they have all this technology. Right. I mean, he could have done that too. Hey, Lord ADS, how are you doing? Good to see you. Hope everything's going well for you this Sunday. Rehearse said, damn, bro, was on a mission. That's what it's showing. Yeah. Let's go on.
I'm throwing at you. Okay? It's amazing. So we get all this technology, and then we go to the scene. Like Kalamazoo Township Police is up on Amsterdam. Okay? The other place up by the water, that's where we know we can target where those shots were. So we can go right there. Okay? So we do that, and guess what we recover at those places?
Probably some shells.
Exactly. Shell casings, what we call shell casing. You know what I mean? Just the remainder little part of the bullet. Ping, comes popping out of a gun. Okay? And so we recover those. And at that point, we start tracking that. Okay? Every shell casing is traceable or trackable.
Yeah.
Okay? If you got hit by the feds, you probably know more about that shit than I do. Them folks are, they're some wizards with science, right? They are, you got to admit. So they can track it. They can tell where those bullets were bought. Okay? And then we match up where those bullets were bought, for example, in this case, on target. Okay, so we know where those were purchased. Make sense so far? You tracking me? Okay, so we find those. So we got the bullets that came back to on target, and then we also take DNA samples. Okay, now sometimes it's a crapshoot because we don't know who the hell touched it. But in this case, remember, we've been putting together for days now all this stuff, and we've now drawn a bead on you, haven't we? We know. Same car, same phone, same location. Okay, I said, for example, on target.
Right.
Okay, so, and I'll have to confirm where they came from. I can narrow that down for you. So, and then we take, and if anybody's ever touched those bullets, we can get contact DNA. Contact DNA, for example, is if I take John's glasses and do that, guess what?
I know what that is.
Gotcha, yeah. You're
Hey,
smart, man.
Happy Sunday.
So then we
Good
get
to see
DNA
you.
off those shell casings, okay? And then we have the feds process that because you're on federal paper, so we get an upgrade to process those. And lo and behold, guess what?
I'm on there.
Yeah.
All right.
Can you give me any explanation why your DNA is on those shell casings?
Because I shot the gun, probably.
Thank you.
What the hell? Oh my God. Why would you even say that? Why? Why would you say that? Because why? Where? Yo. I would have been, I don't know how that happens. I don't know. You tell me. You're telling me everything now. Might as well tell me. Why would you actually say that? Yeah, I shot. Like, even on record, it's saying I shot blah, blah, blah. So if they wanted to chop it up and screw it, you just said I shot da, 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 da. Like, dude, you just literally let yourself get set up of saying something. Why would you do that? Why? Why? Y'all can't see me on the other side of the camera because I'm doing something, but I'm sitting up here like, oh my God.
DNA on them, and we got shell casings on the
Amsterdam.
Sorry, thank you, John.
Did you shoot into the woods or just into the air?
No, I shot it in the woods. It was in the water.
What kind of gun we talking about? Just
So hold on. Southern says she didn't see it. I'm gonna rewind it just a little bit. Just a little bit. This is crazy. I just can't believe he just did that though. That just really bothered me.
that. Guess what?
I know what that is.
Gotcha. Yeah, you're a smart man. So then we get DNA off those shell casings, okay? And then we have the feds process that because you're on federal paper, so we get an upgrade to process those. And lo and behold, guess what?
I'm on there.
Yeah.
All right.
Can you give me any explanation why your DNA is on those shell casings?
Because I shot the gun, probably.
Thank you. We got shell casings at the water spot that got your DNA on them, and we got shell casings on the Amsterdam. Sorry, thank you, John.
Did you shoot into the woods or just in the air?
No, I shot it in the woods. It was in the water.
What kind of gun we talking about? Just so I know you're not bullshitting me.
We know.
We know.
We
have
know.
a case.
I agree.
It was a 45.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. Very good.
Fair enough.
Michael, in all his glory, has just admitted to firing the same gun, the same ammunition, and leaving behind the same bullet casings as those found at the crime scene. But this is only the tip of the iceberg labeled Michael's confession, as he will slowly begin to divulge even more incriminating information.
In some questions we ask you, Mike, we probably already know the answer to, or we may know the answer to.
Right.
We're just looking to see how truthful you're willing to be with us, all right? So that way we can say one way or the other, yeah, the guy, you know what, he's out having a good time, he popped off some rounds, big deal. All right, but if it, you know, like Gary said, if we're sitting here, we don't want to play cat and mouse games. We don't want to bullshit you, and we don't want you to do the same to us, all right?
Yeah.
So, you know, obviously those casings, they match up. Each casing, in addition to, you know, the science he's talking about, they're unique. So if I take my gun and I shoot a bullet, the casing, and stop me if you already know this, each casing is unique, just as unique as someone's fingerprints are. The ejector puts a little mark on it. Some scientists that are smarter than myself look at it and they're able to say, okay, yep, this came from this exact type of gun, and they can match those up. So they can say, okay, these casings match up with these ones, which match up with these ones. Okay, so let's talk about the casings that are found again later that night.
Okay.
From that same gun. Tell me about that.
I don't know about that one.
Sure you did.
I didn't have the gun though anymore then. I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
What happened to it? Tell me what happened.
I sold it.
Who? Tell us about
I'm
that.
not gonna tell you who I did it to, but
Well, why not?
because why would I do that?
You dummy! Why would you even tell them that you even had the weapon? Why would you tell them that you sold the weapon? Like, you just give, oh my God, you just giving everything away. I mean, like, at the end of the day, if he did the shooting, he got to do the time, right? But you didn't even give yourself a fighting chance. They were well prepared how to handle you in this interrogation process. You admitted to them their time frame. You agreed with it. You said that you shot the weapon. Now you admitted that you had the weapon. Now you're submitting that, or you're trying to lie and say, oh, I gave the weapon to somebody else. Like, oh my God. He done sold that gun quick. Like, man, listen. I don't know. I'm quite disturbed right now because he really does not understand anything that's happening, and he really do believe by saying that you sold the weapon is supposed to clear you of any actions that happened to the guy who lost his life. Obviously, they said that you shot the gun, and they found rounds over here. They found rounds near the victim's body, and you confirmed and admitted that, yeah, you shot the gun. So what do you really think that telling them that you gave the gun to somebody else is like some one up that's going to help you not be charged with anything? Not only did you steal somebody's weapon, right? You stole your girlfriend's weapon, you committed a crime that turned into a homicide, and then you got rid of the murder weapon. You gave it to somebody else. You sold it for money. Like, that's illegal. Like, you just keep on adding all the illegal shit that you fucking did in this process. But you, Mr. Oh, I was just out there needing a break, and I needed to drive around and go cruising to get, to blow off some steam. You was doing more than blowing off steam. What you did was, and I hate to say this, but you blew off somebody's head. You were doing more than blowing off steam, riding around the city and the town. This is just really sad. These cops has to do very little interrogation. This guy gave himself up, but thinks he's doing smart. Yeah. Hey, Brucey, how are you doing? It's good to see you. Good to see you. Hope you're having a great Sunday, sir. And I hope your ankle's feeling better. Now he's burnt. Yeah. Let's go on. This is hurting this is sad. This is really sad.
I could get them in trouble.
Well, I think you need to worry about Mike right now, all right? Let's not worry about someone else getting someone else in trouble. Let's focus on this.
Well, I can't. I'm just not going to do that. So,
okay, it's not likely that you sold that gun, okay? Because you're.
I mean,
well, it may be gone now. It may be gone now. All right, Mike. I'm not going to doubt you on that. But the chances of you selling it between 10 and 1 o'clock.
How's that not probable?
Well, because your car, that very loud vehicle.
There's more than just one loud vehicle.
But it's yours, and like Gary said, I'd be more than happy to show you a video of it. Okay. It shows you right there, right at the scene where those last casings are found from that same gun,
with your DNA.
With your DNA at the time,
so
moments before the shooting.
What's the point of the questions then?
Well, because I'm trying to get a little rationalization here, Mike. I'm just trying to get a little rationalization. All right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what rationalization is. I mean, you're trying to understand what.
Yeah,
absolutely.
What happened?
Absolutely, yeah.
Just trying to figure out. There's reasons why things happen.
There's always two sides to every story, and we just want to get your side of it. Okay, that's all.
There's no side because, like I said, I don't. There's very few people that I know over there, so why would I have a reason to do something to whatever happened to anybody over there?
I don't know. I can't answer that question.
I'm not stupid.
No, you're not stupid at all.
No, I'm not saying why I'm here. Like,
you're pretty clever,
questioning me.
Yeah.
If something didn't happen.
Sure. And you watch the news. You know what happened, right?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Wait a minute. You mean to tell me you went through this whole interrogation, giving them all this information. You refused to call upon getting a lawyer and ending the interrogation, and you didn't even know he was being brung down here? So what are you talking about? Why would you that's the crazy part, because he didn't even know that he's being brought down there in questioning of a homicide. They were able to get out. He had a weapon that he wasn't supposed to have because he's a felon. They were able to get out that his girlfriend was missing one of her weapons and that he left her house around 9 p.m. and came back 7 p.m. the next following morning. They were able to pinpoint that he used her car. They were able to break down the narrative what day it happened, even though he said that he wasn't there or he wasn't there all day. Like, you gave all this information. You confirmed that you shot the weapon and that the casings had your DNA on it. You gave them all this information and you didn't even know that you was down here for a homicide. Is that what he's saying? Please put a 1 in the chat. Please, I don't hear this stupid fool say, I don't even know. Now, after 30 minutes, he's want to say he don't know why he down here for it. Wouldn't that be like the first question you ask before you start talking? Am I tripping? Am I tripping? Please put a 1 in the chat if I'm tripping, because I'm about to crash out. He about to make me crash out on him. You went and had a 30-minute conversation talking about weapons that you shouldn't have. You shooting weapons that you shouldn't have. You being in the location and you didn't even know this was a homicide. Let me go ahead and play this video. I can't believe this fool.
It's not a coincidence that the same casings are found in spaces that match the same gun in vehicle.
My bad. That happened because I was pissed. I had to get the nice soothing tunes flowing again because he just got on my nerves. My bad, guys. My bad. Here we go.
Crackheads, prostitutes, whoever that are out milling around. I mean, it is the north side at, it's not even 2 o'clock in the morning. Polar Bear's still open. People are still milling around in addition to these cameras. All right. So the odds of you selling the gun within that short amount of time, someone else being in your exact vehicle, and then that being used.
There's no reason why I would do something when I don't know anybody. There's very few people that I know over there. So why would I have to read
This investigation conclusively shown we can't go backwards. All right, we know which we love things our lives does not care for us. We got caught in a bad situation. Is kind of what we're trying to tell you. Things happen on the north side of Kalamazoo. Okay? There was a homicide there the week before. Okay, so we know how dangerous it can be. Any city, not just Kalamazoo, but any city has its problems. Okay, so when you're around, bad shit can happen.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Lord.
He's not exactly sane. We know that. Okay, so
oh my goodness,
you got to make a decision here today, Mike. Okay, yeah, I'm kind of hit here in terms of being there, doing this, doing that. I'm already in trouble for this. I get it, but you got to make a risk. It's a business decision for you right here, Mike. Do you sit here and write us out and let technology and science speak for you, and witnesses and plate readers and all those kind of things tell your story, or do you try to get out in front of this man? You know what?
That has to go real quick.
This is why.
Come on by now.
What I wanted to have happen. But you got to decide. What is it? One way or the other.
I don't know who the you're talking about.
Okay. All right. I'll give you a little background here. Okay. Because here's what you got to decide.
Oh my God! Why?
You're some kind of cold-blooded guy who.
Now him trying to use the. I don't know what you talk. Sir, you should have had used that in the beginning. You never once asked them, why was you brought down to the station? You never asked them that. Maybe if you would have asked them and, they'd be like, oh, well, we're investigating a homicide that happened down in this part of town. and we got some tips that maybe you was around the area at that time and you probably know what happened, then you would have been like, oh, okay, so it seemed like something happened, like a homicide or something. Yeah, I don't think I want to speak to you about any homicide. Let me go get my lawyer. You didn't ask them one question about that. You sat there and you just gave them all this information that you was playing with guns that you wasn't supposed to be playing with and shooting guns that you wasn't supposed to be shooting. Like, you gave them everything. And then you literally said the words out of my mouth. If my DNA is on the casings, then most likely I was shooting the weapon. Wassa said because he knew why. I'm sure he knew why, but he was, if you're gonna play dumb all the way, right? I'm not asking any question because I don't know what the hell you talking about. If you're going to go that route, at least do it from the beginning. Don't now want to do the I don't know after you gave all that information. That's stupid. They already got you on record. You already agreed to every narrative that they said. So now you can't talk about, I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, you do. You even knew what weapon they were talking about. You gave all that away. This boy is crazy.
Shoot somebody? Or was there a reason? Did I have a beef with this man? Did I have a conflict with this man? Did he try to do something to me? Which one is it? Are you the kind of guy who's just a cold-blooded shooter? Or are you the guy who, there's a reason. There's a reason. We've all done shit out of character. We've all had situations.
So right now, the questioning that they're doing, they're trying, it's not about him being guilty or not. They know he's guilty. They got the confession, right? They have pretty much a good confession that, if anything, he shot the weapon that unalived an individual, okay? What they're asking now is, you know, with the, are you a cold-blooded killer or did you have an argument stuff? Because they want to make sure that he is going to be charged for the correct for the correct charges that he deserves. If he's saying that he's a cold-blooded killer or he was on a serial killer type of mode, whatever his answers is, that will give him the charges for that. If he says that he got in an argument with the guy and then he, tussled with the guy and he ended up shooting the guy in the head afterwards, then that would be second degree, so-and-so, right? They just want to make sure that they're giving him the correct charges. It's not about him being innocent or not at this point. That deal is sealed. This is why they're sitting back, literally very comfortable and just playing this dude and continue to play this dude because they got whatever they needed. Now it's just making sure, all right, are we giving him the real, the real deal? Can we actually really make this stick? It's funny because they already had somewhat motive, right, Sean? They already had somewhat motive because the girlfriend who they interviewed prior to him said that he was going around sending her text messages, admitting that the next person he saw, he was going to unalive. Now, we don't know if the reason why he want to unalive someone because he's mad about his life. He's mad about the life that he chose, going to jail for gun possession and stuff like that. And he messed up his life and he can't, and he's angry about that. And now he wants to take it out on somebody else. That's what they're asking those type of questions about. Was it because of that? Because you was mad? Was it because you was mad and you want to just harm any random person? Or did you do it because someone told you to harm this person? Or did you get in an argument and a scruffle with this guy and it led to you pulling out your weapon, right? That's what they need to find out. And like I said, it's not to save him. It's not to save him. It's not to get him off or anything, make him innocent. It's duly so they can put the proper charges on him. That is it. Victoria said, I doubt he that smart to say it's self-defense. Yeah, I don't even think so. I don't think so. There ain't no self-defense on that. We get MJ 2 days in a row. Aw, you're Brucey. You so sweet. Thank you so much.
Happened
Shoot
to us.
Somebody, some random person.
So that's not you. You're not this guy, are you? So then you must be this guy. Because don't let John and I leave here today thinking, holy shit, I guess he's just a cold-blooded shooter. That's all he is. Okay, which guy are you? Are you the cold-blooded shooter?
I would have, something like this would have happened before, wouldn't it? If I was
Not necessarily, no. No, absolutely not. It doesn't happen at all.
There's a first time for everything.
Absolutely. So which one are you? Are you this guy over here? Because the investigation conclusively shows that we don't have any choice. Are you this guy over here who I just feel like doing what I'm going to do, this feels good to me? Or, man, this shit.
I'm sorry, guys. I had to stop again. Why are you allowing them to call you a killer? Why are you allowing them to call you a shooter and you not said, no, I'm not? Not once did you say that. Instead of you saying, I'm not a killer, I'm not a shooter, I don't know what you're talking about. The first thing that you say is, well, I mean, wouldn't it be a pattern of me doing that if that was the case? That's not going to work. That's not going to fly. There's a lot of people who only harm someone or only unalive one person. That didn't stop them from going to jail. That didn't stop them from, getting convicted of murder. You don't always have to have a pattern of harming people to actually deal with the consequences for a particular situation. If you get caught and they found all the evidence that you did it, you're gonna pay the price for it. Whether if you are a criminal, a habitual criminal or not. That's just how our system works. And usually people who is a habitual criminal, they tend to get, stronger charges and more time and do real hard time because you have proven countless of times again that you cannot get it right. As many times as you come see the judge, you still can't keep your ass out the goddamn fucking courtroom. Sean said he's a cold-blooded killer. I think they lead him with the cold-blooded killer because, like I said, this guy did nothing to him. He didn't know this guy. This guy was walking down the street, probably going home, probably getting off work. Just a random dude. He did nothing to this man. Nothing to this man. So why do he have 2 bullets in the back of his head?
Happened. It was dicey. I can't believe I survived this. This is what happened. Which guy are you?
Neither of them.
Neither. You got to be one or the other because we have you there.
Okay.
You can try to ride this out and let science and technology and witnesses tell your story. Or you can on your own bus and stand up for yourself. Be your own advocate. Let us try to help you. Let us try to follow up things for you.
There's no one can tell you that I was there when that happened.
Sure
because I wasn't there when that happened.
We absolutely have you.
Okay.
All day long.
And it's not just people. Like
science,
you said,
science. Science got to do it because I wasn't right there.
You were, but that's
I wasn't right there when that happened. No.
You know how we could easily dispel it? Who is it you sold the gun to? Because they would have had to have used it in such a short amount of
time. Where do you remember selling it? You don't tell us who it is. Where do you remember selling it to?
I'm not going to tell you.
It's not that Michael doesn't want to tell them who he sold it to, but more so that he can't. This is because the gun disappeared right after the murder, almost as if it vanished into thin air. With no leads to follow, it was almost certain that Michael disposed of it. But where exactly it is something that detectives need to find out in order to build the case against Michael even more.
Yes, and the video essence is correct. They're going to always continue to ask to the murder weapon because that literally builds up the case and seal the deal. They have the murder weapon. They have your prints on the murder weapon. They get a confession for you. That is a sealed deal in most cases. It really is. This dude, he's not trying to tell them where the weapon is because, number one, he knows his prints is on it, right? And number two, he knows that he took it without permission. And he has already admitted that he shot the weapon. So he's not, I don't even believe that he even sold the weapon. I don't think he sold it at all. I just think that he got rid of it. But I think he wants to say that he sold it because he's using this imaginary person who will take a hot gun, because that's what we call it. We call it hot guns because it was just used in a crime. Who in the hell will buy a hot gun? It was just used. You just used it. Some random guy say, yo, I got a weapon. You want it? Yeah, let me have that. That gun is still hot, still warm. And then on top of that, if you sold it, guess what? Sold, the word sold means that it was an exchange, right? Where's the money? Where's the money? Can he even tell the detectives how much money he got for selling the weapon? That's what I would ask him as a detective. I'm like, okay, so how much did you get for it? Do you still got the money? Did you spend it already? If he can't even tell you how much he sold it for, you didn't sell a damn thing. You didn't sell nothing. You just got rid of it.
And do prior to you having to shoot him.
I didn't shoot him, so that's that.
Well, he shoot himself.
I didn't shoot him, so I mean.
Did you see the girl that was with him just probably a minute or two before? Did you see that girl?
I don't know.
The tall guy, when you were leaving the scene, did you see the tall guy in the tan jacket? Did you see him?
When you were driving away.
When you're driving away, sorry.
Driving away. Leaving the scene.
When you're in the area, right? There's no, I can't change that.
I mean,
right?
I mean, if you said I was there, I was near it.
You're not going to dispute that you were there.
Most likely was near it.
Absolutely,
I mean, if
right.
you got GPS evidence that shows I was near it, I was
1,000%
near it.
Right.
But did I see what happened? No, I didn't.
So here's the fear. Here's what you got to work on. And I appreciate the fact that maybe you're somebody.
Yeah, I think it's gone. I mean, shit, this happened however many days ago, and it's got a body on it.
It's gone now.
I have no
I
doubt
guarantee it's gone. But here's the fear. You're not going to talk, okay? Then somebody's probably going to wrap this murder around you. Because we're at 90% of everything else we're good with. We know you're there. We know all the other stuff. We got all the shots. We're good with here. So now we're at that little tiny bit there where you sold the gun to somebody.
Got it?
And you're in that area, and that man still gets shot. There's got to be an explanation, because that ain't going to fly. You're still going to get for it. So you need to come up with an explanation as to why that happened, and or who you sold that gun to, because that's.
See, that is a fib right there. Just because someone gets injured or hurt in front of you, or you're in the area and let's say you don't report it, you're not going to get charged for not doing anything. There is something in our society called the bystander, right? And a lot of people let a lot of crimes just fly by because they don't want to get involved or they fear retaliation. So not everyone is getting locked up because they see something and they didn't say anything. So that's a lie. So for him to bring it up to this guy saying, well, there's a shot and you was in the area, you're going to get caught up regardless. That's a lie. But he doesn't know any better. He doesn't know any better about that.
That's the person. If you truly didn't do it, man, I do not want this on you. That'd be horrible. I wouldn't be able to sleep. Neither would John.
Yep.
We're fair men. We want to be able to advocate for you. If you made the mistake of being on federal papers and had a gun and sold it to somebody, big damn deal. You can live with that. But man, if there's a body on that damn gun because you sold it to somebody else and you're afraid to say, then that's on you. So it's one of two things. Either help us find the man who shot him or tell us why the hell it happened. Because it's one of the two.
I can't tell you why it happened because I didn't.
You did. I mean, either you did or that man did, and you were right there when it happened. That I can't. That's science.
Is there were you drinking or high that night?
No, I don't smoke or drink.
You don't smoke
I
or drink?
can't because.
It's on paper.
You got
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you're clear-minded. So you have a very good recollection of this. So what was it that happened, man? It's just no one's gonna we don't believe for a second, and no reasonable people are gonna believe that you sold that gun in that amount of time.
How is that not possible?
Well, it's okay. I apologize. It's not just that one fact. It's when you add everything up. Okay,
It's
that your vehicle. So okay, you sold it. That's fine. The fact that you sold it in a few hours after you last shot it. Okay, and then your car is also there at the time of the shooting.
It's right there. It can't. That's not even possible for it to be right there.
It is.
No, it's
we
not.
We
right
see
there.
your vehicle. Literally, we see your vehicle on Cobb. Cobb goes north and south. We see your vehicle on Cobb. All right.
Okay.
You know where the man was killed at. You know where you drove at. All right.
Cobb. Okay, you saw me on Cobb. I've been there, like, for the past few days. I've been there several times.
No, but I'm explaining to you how unrational this is.
Okay.
With
I mean, it doesn't make sense. Why would I don't know the dude.
Would it make sense? Would you believe this? Would you believe this story if you were us? Just put yourself in our shoes for just a second.
I mean, you need somebody to, and I look like the best subject, so I mean.
We don't want just a subject. We don't like to just. I've never met you before. I don't have a vendetta against you, Mike.
I mean, of course, I'm not saying you do, but
I'm just going with the facts that this case is giving.
You need somebody for this to go on, and I look like the best possible subject, so this is what you're going to go with.
All the evidence in the investigation has conclusively led us to you. Right. There is no one else. Right. There is no one else.
Thank you. I put it on my base. Okay. At my base.
No one else that shot the guy, all right? But Mike, what you're leaving out is probably your best best option, okay? Because it's not a matter of whether or not it happened. It's why it happened, what led up to it.
Happy Sunday.
I know about this dude. I know the dude that got killed. I know what he was into.
Yeah.
And I find it hard to believe that something didn't happen. How many people you drove by that night that you didn't shoot? Right?
A lot.
Right. Exactly. Hundreds, if not thousands of people, okay? So that's why I don't think it's completely random that this happened to this man. There was something that led up to this. There was something that he did that made this sequence of events happen, okay? And that is your best thing that you have for yourself right now. And if you want to sit there and let what we have tell the story for you, I can tell you right now.
Nothing else I can say. I mean,
yeah, there is. You can say why it happened. You can say what led up to it, what happened. Because
I did it, so I mean, whatever.
I'll see if I can find one.
Well, it's not a whatever, Mike.
It has
on one of these online websites, and I'll give you the link.
Here's what we're asking you to do, okay? And like I said, you're a smart man.
Yeah, he's thinking now.
We know there's always reasons why shit happens. We're okay with that. All right, we've both been doing this a long time. So you've got to kind of make it, once again, it's a decision. It's a business decision for you. You've admitted to firing a gun up on Ravine Road, okay? The 4 casings up there, at least, that we have. We've got 5 or 6 casings from Amsterdam. You've admitted to firing at them, okay? I'm good with that, all right? Now we're down here on, and you didn't hurt nobody up there. And if we're not saying that you were just driving around that night looking for just the next person you saw to shoot, we're not saying that. I mean, that's crazy.
1,000 people out there.
You could have shot 1,000 people, okay? But unfortunately, something happened with this man, okay? This man wasn't, like I said, he's not a pillar of the community, okay? He has done some shit, and he was into some shit that night with a bunch of people. We've been looking at all kinds of shit, okay? Because we know that what this man's into, okay? He pisses off a lot of people. So the fact that he would have come at you or pissed you off or something, I'm good with it. I just need an explanation. My guess is this man pissed.
Do not tell this detective anything else. I think now he's starting to realize how everything is playing out. He's still, however, allowing these guys to say that he is the killer. He did shoot the weapon. He shot the weapon over there in Amsterdam. He shot the weapon on this. He's allowing them too much wiggle room to say that he was the one who's doing it, and he's not really fighting back from it. That is a no-go. I would really literally end this situation until they say, listen, you are actually detained. You could ask, am I being detained, and end this interview. Because it doesn't seem like he's detained as of right now. Even though they keep on saying, you're the guy, we got all this evidence. Yeah, okay. Cool. Are you detaining me now? Can I go? Or am I being charged with something? That's the only thing that you really need to be asking at this point. Any other part of this interview that you're trying to give them is just more about sealing the deal, sealing your fate of them actually getting a confession. You already admitted that you shot the gun, which you was fucking idiot. I wouldn't even have admitted that I even had the gun. Like, truly, like, seriously, I wouldn't, like, I don't know. It's just really sad to see it in real time, how the tactics that the detectives use, how people or other individuals in the situation get themselves caught up. Let's see. Looks and Charm said, wish he had put 2 to 2 together way earlier. Yeah. That's exactly what they're saying. Yeah. Man.
Was in your ass. Because what he does is he'll flag people down and then he just tries to get right in your damn car. That's what he does all the damn time. And then ends up stealing shit from people. Okay? So my guess is, you not being from here, some dude flags you, sees you a couple times, flags you, calls you over. Did that man try to get in your car? He did, didn't he?
Thank you, good sir. I appreciate it.
He did.
Yeah, I don't doubt that he did either. And
that's what he does.
And by the way, he's also been drinking. He's got a beer and he's high. You're obviously not drinking. You're not high. You're of sound mind and judgment when this dude flags you down and tries getting in your ride. I get it. Again, it's back to that thing where this isn't just a random thing where you just picked him out of the crowd, out of nobody, right? The amount of cases that Gary and I have investigated over the years, I can't think of one. Maybe Dalton. Other than that,
yeah.
Maybe one case out of thousands and thousands that are random. They happen for no reason, if you know what I mean. There's always a reason, and there's always two sides.
So that man tried to get in your car. Yes or no?
For the next several minutes, Michael falls silent before he begins to reveal everything, down to the smallest details of what happened that night.
So he's pulling on a door you think he's trying to get in, so how many times do you shoot him?
Oh my God. They got him to finally crack. They got him to officially crack that now he's telling everything. And you know how they did it? They used the man up or the ego approach. That's a tactic that the detectives use. Hey man, you know, you're not a bad guy. I don't think you're a bad guy. Listen, people make messed up mistakes. I'm sure you wouldn't mind dealing with a gun charge because you went to jail for a gun charge. But listen, man, we're more concerned about you. We don't want this on your plate. This comes with heavier prices, right? So just tell us what's happened. Help us, right? And they start softening up. Now they start putting other things into his head. Did this guy harm you? Did this guy do this? Listen, we know about this guy. We heard about his history. He's not a pretty penny either, right? He's out here bothering people. He probably assaulted someone before. You know, just tell us what happened. So now when he thought about that, about them saying, did this guy do something to you? He took the trap. The trap was them putting out another narrative or scenario that made it seem like you was the innocent bystander or you had to do what you had to do. And you ran with it. You ran with it and you're like, yeah, you know what? That sounds really good. So now I'm going to tell them everything and I'm going to try to make myself look like the victim. You're not the victim. You're not a victim in this situation. Even if the guy tried to get in your car, unless the guy had a weapon, which there was no other weapon found, that your weapon that you used wasn't even found. If the guy tried to get in your car, wouldn't you just drive off? Why didn't you call the police? Why was that not mentioned from the girlfriend when they interviewed her before you, saying that somebody tried to steal her vehicle? And the guy, and my boyfriend came in and told me that somebody tried to steal my vehicle and he had to fight them out the car. None of that was said. You just literally ran with whatever new narrative that they told you. And you say, you know what? That seems like a good idea. That seems very reasonable and plausible because they believe that that's a possibility that this is how it happened. So let me just go ahead and take this and see if it's going to work out for me. Then you're going to literally tell all this other extra information and details that they never had. And that they was waiting on the whole freaking entire time to fucking nail your ass to the fucking coffin. Bruce said, too bad he's not in Florida. That wouldn't fly there. Urban said he's cooked. Yep. Hey, how you doing, Michelle? It's good to see you, sweetheart. Good to see you. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Happy Sunday, dear. Bruce said, LOL. And they don't know shit about the dude. Right. Yep, the you're a good man trick. Yes, exactly. Sean says, Mike is still a convicted felon in possession of a firearm. Yeah, that too. So, I mean, that's another thing too. If you're a convicted felon, You know that you wasn't supposed to have a firearm. You're on probation. You had the opportunity to get your life on track and not do something that would land you back in jail. You should have been more prepared. This is not your first rodeo where you had to deal with detectives, speak with cops, or probably go in front of a judge. You should have known the game a little bit more better than you playing out here. But you fell right into their trap. Right into their trap. It's terrible. It's really, truly, truly, truly terrible if you think about it. But let's go on. We're almost done with this case.
I don't know, twice, 3 times.
Twice or 3 times? Do you think, did you at the time know you hit him? I mean, you see him
No,
fall?
I did. I started driving when it started
So
driving.
is the window down, or you fire through your window?
The window was down.
Okay, so the window's down, he's pulling on it, you're like this. What hand are you? So
Well, I can use both hands.
You can use both hands? Yeah, me too. So can John. So you're like this with the gun, the 45, and you shoot him 3 times, two times, 3 times?
I didn't know if I hit him.
And then you drive off. Okay.
Mike, I want to slap you in the back of the head like, shut the hell up, you goofy ass dude. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? This man don't got no friends. He don't got no friends. He don't got no people that really love him. Ain't no way. Ain't no freaking way. Like, this is really sad. Like, they didn't even break a sweat. Like, the detectives didn't even have to use I don't know, like 20% of their skills on this interview. It was so easy for them. They had them in the first 15 to 20 minutes. And now it just, they're going to throw the book at this boy. They're going to throw the book at him. Let's see. Turkey said he ain't just cooked. He prepared, cooked, and served. Yeah. Why say the 45? I don't know. Never talk to the police. They're not helping you. Believe me. I was born in Baltimore, Maryland, then moved to Georgia at the age of 27. Yes, never talk to police. Ever, ever, ever. I know, Brucey. I know. I do really want to slap him in the back of his neck. You know, like seriously. Like, what are you doing? Did you turn the gun sideways? Yes, like, and you're gonna be like, well, I don't know. Yeah, I probably did. I didn't even know I hit him. Like, oh God, I don't understand how he thinks this was helping him. Again, they keep telling him that he's smart and he believes it to play out here being one of the dumbest. Yes, because he is ego driven. And they realize that he's ego driven. All you have to do is stroke his ego, and he is vulnerable. He lets things go. He lets things slide. He'll tell things that he probably didn't want to tell because you stroked his ego. And that is always going to work with someone who is ego driven. You tell them everything that they need to hear, all the good things, whatever not, things that make them feel like, yeah, yeah, I'm this person. Yeah, I'm not a bad person. I'm a good person. I wouldn't do nothing like that. Or I had a reason to do that, right? You understand me. You understand why I did that, right? And it's very easy for them to drop their guard at that point. Like butter, baby. Yep. Boss said they will play with his mind in prison to eat. Oh, man. And the funny thing is, he just came from there too.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. I didn't want to leave here today thinking you're some kind of maniac who just wanted to kill the next person he saw. Right? That's not you, is it?
No.
Sorry that happened to you.
Did you? Now, let me ask you this, Mike. Given the circumstances, obviously, you feel like you're about to get jacked. All right, so you shoot the dude, so that way it doesn't happen. Did you think at all? I know I'm on federal paper, but let me just get out in front of this. Did that cross your mind at all, or were you too?
I'm scared.
Well,
Yeah,
sure, I
I
know.
Scared.
What were you scared most? I mean, what scared you about it?
I mean, 1, a guy's dead. 2, I did it, and I'm gonna be locked up forever.
Do you know? How'd you know he was dead?
I mean, I saw the news later. Well, I didn't see the news. I saw like on the on Facebook.
Michael, shut the fuck up!
When you shot him, Did you get blood on you?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I mean, that you noticed.
Were you wearing the same clothes you have on now? No. What were you wearing?
I had this on.
Just that pullover on? And so you were in a car, you had the pullover on. I'll tell you what would help go a long way, because we can tell distances and all those kind of things. Where's that gun at? If you really want to get out from underneath this and get your life together and have a chance at this, and then it's all going to be based on cooperation from this point forward.
I threw it out.
I'm quite disturbed. I am literally quite disturbed from this interrogation. It is so bad. He literally just admitted that the hoodie that he has on is the same one that was used when he did this homicide. So now when they book and cuff your motherfucking ass, now they have DNA. Now they have gun residue. You know, the things that they didn't have prior, now they know where they need to look for that information. Right on the fucking sweater that you're wearing. Oh, my head hurts, guys. My head hurts. My head hurts. Bruce said, "Dude isn't gonna doesn't have a shot in the back in the head twice if he's trying to steal dude's car." Right? Exactly. That's not happening at all. He says, "I saw the dude was dead," or I didn't see he was dead. This guy is stupid, clearly stupid. They're knowing full well he killed the dude. Yeah, exactly. And the guy was trying to steal your car is a fucking lie. He was not trying to steal your car. I missed the reason he took the pew pew to begin with. Well, he told, he said that he wanted to go out and hurt someone. He said that the next person that he saw, he was going to shoot. This is what he texted his girlfriend. He took her weapon. That was her gun. He took it without her permission. He told her that he was probably going to go see his family, left the house at 9 p.m., went driving around, saw somebody who was by themselves, on a street that he thought that was nobody there, nobody saw, probably did what he did, ran off, did another shooting somewhere else so he can leave casings over there to try to lure the detectives to look in that area and not necessarily look at him. Got rid of the gun. Yeah. But like I said, he already took, it's a done deal. Now they got the evidence now. They're going to have the guy's DNA and they're going to have the gun residue from the .45 caliber on his hoodie. Because I know that motherfucker did not wash his fucking hoodie. I know he didn't wash the hoodie. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's a wrap for him. Ethan said, haha, they want the gun to judge the distance. And he didn't even get rid of the clothes he was wearing. Just wow. He just got up to be there with the dumbest criminal. Yes, he did. Absolutely. Hey, honey, how are you doing? Happy Sunday. Well, there is a full confession. Yep, absolutely. Hey, John, how are you doing? Aloha. Aloha. All right, let's finish this guy burying himself.
Took the clip and I threw that and I threw the gun out.
Where?
Down the highway, going down the highway.
What highway?
131.
Do you know by where?
Not exactly.
Not exactly.
Driving and threw it out.
Driving and threw it out.
What direction you're going?
Going north.
Where'd you get that gun?
That's old. It's been around for a couple of years.
Yeah, Tori's gun.
No.
Tori's mom's gun?
No, I didn't get it from her.
Even while confessing, Michael still finds a way to lie. He did steal it from Tori's apartment if the dozens of witness statements to prove this weren't enough.
You ever see Tori's mom's gun?
I saw one of them. I know she had like what is it? Like a flare gun, and I saw a revolver.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Mike, can you do this for us? Let's just run one version, okay? And I don't need to know what. I know you shot. When was anybody with you when you shot the gun up on Ravine into the water?
No.
No. Was anybody with you when you shot the gun up on Amsterdam the night of the murder?
No.
Okay. And was anybody with you when you shot that man at Cobb and Maple at 1:30 in the morning? No. Okay.
Let me ask you this: was that girl with him?
Who?
Was there a girl with him when he flagged you down?
I don't remember anybody. Like I said, this was all happened.
Do you remember what he was wearing?
No.
No.
It happened quick, so I don't.
Yeah, it happened quick.
Had you ever seen him before?
No, no.
Okay.
So
I don't know.
just tell me what happens. Give me one quick rundown of what happened.
So, like I said, you already pretty much know what happened. I'm
Yep.
driving, he flagged me down. I roll the window down, he's saying something, I turn down the music, and he starts grabbing on the handle.
Yep.
So, I started shooting.
Okay.
Did y'all? I mean, there's obviously some type of dialogue. Does he say anything
Oh,
like,
they
"Hey,
have
give me
a
ride,
field
give me a rock,
day.
give me a beer"?
They have a field
anything
day.
like that?
Like I said, I couldn't make out what he
Couldn't
was
really
saying.
hear it. Okay. All right. Did you say anything to him, like, "Hey, what the hell are you doing?" Or
I was like, what the?
mm-hmm.
In my mind, I didn't say it out loud. I was like, what?
Yeah. Okay. Where do you think you hit him?
Brucey, I never thought that I would actually see someone blow their own back out. Oh my God, my head is hurting. This poor man just don't understand.
Hit him when you shot him.
I don't know. Probably in the body.
Okay. Did you get out of your car at all after the shooting?
No, like I said, I just sped off.
Okay, if you're in your car and I'm him, okay? So you're driving your car, just like you are. I come up and I'm grabbing down this window, right? Or the door, trying to get in, and you got it down. Show me what happens. So show me how you do it. Am I like, where am I? Like right here?
Yeah, I'm sitting
Okay.
here. And the
I'm
handle's
pulling on
right
it.
here. Yeah.
Yep, okay. And then what happens?
Where's your gun at?
I reached, it was on the seat,
Okay.
and I reached over and I grabbed it.
Okay.
So how far away am I when I get
Like
shot?
right there.
So I'm right here. I'm right in your wheelhouse.
At this point,
Did you fall down right away or no?
No.
Okay.
I'm still grabbing.
He's still grabbing it after you shoot?
After the first
Okay, so the first round goes off,
Like the
second.
first
By the time
one or two.
by the first one or two, he's done grabbing, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, and where is he now? He's stumbling around?
Yeah.
Okay. And what do you do?
What? I'm just joking, Sean. I'm just
Thank you.
joking.
And where do you go after that, Mike?
My bad, Sean. I apologize.
Okay. So you
I'm sorry. You're the best too. Thank you for being my friend too, Brucey. Oh, why is it happening? I don't have a storm happening. Hold on, let's see. Give me 1 second, guys. I don't know why my computer is acting up this way.
Get this. And here's what happens. A lot of times when scary shit happens in their life, people reach out to people that are close to them and they tell them. Okay? Or they say something. Have you told anybody to this point what happened?
My sister.
Your sister?
I mean, she don't know exactly what happened, but I told her. Yeah.
You told her that you shot a man down in Kalamazoo? Have you told anybody else? Your sister, that's the one in Grand Rapids that you stay with? Okay. You told her you shot a man in Kalamazoo. And you tell anybody else?
No.
Is it back? Is it back? Put a one in the chat if it's back,
Sorry.
please.
Did I tell her?
Mhm.
No, I didn't tell her. No.
Because you go there right after it happens, you're probably
Yeah.
amped up like, holy shit, what just happened? You ain't never done nothing like this before. You didn't mean for it to happen, but it did. But you guys didn't have you and Tori didn't have a conversation about it at all?
No, I didn't, and it didn't really come up.
Okay.
Shortly after this, Michael's interview concludes. While Roosevelt was the one to flag Michael down, it did not change the fact that Michael was the one who was itching to shoot someone, habits that he clearly did not overcome even after spending time in federal prison. And 3 years later, on February 7th, 2022, 34-year-old Michael Thigpen was convicted of the premeditated first-degree murder of Roosevelt Thompson. Consequently, he was sentenced to life in prison.
That one was really hard to see because he was just really dumb. And the fact that the girlfriend said that he had in his mind that he was going to hurt anybody or shoot anybody, the next person he saw, that's what made it premeditated. He could have had gotten a lawyer. They could have expressed things a little bit better, but he gave him all the information. And here's, like I said, I'm not saying take this information, go and commit a crime and know how to get away with it. I will never preach that to anyone, because if me and my boys go out there and catch you, it's a wrap, right? But what I will say is that you have to be smarter, and it's your life, right? Even if you are innocent or if you're guilty, you need to know how to protect yourself and defend yourself. And you also need to know what you're getting into. Don't just go in there thinking that you're smarter than the average bear. Don't go in there thinking that your manipulation tactics that you use on regular people in your life is going to be the same level as if someone who are literally trained to do this. Like, they go to classes, courses, school to learn how to manipulate you, to learn how to have the battle of the wits with you. They understand human nature, and they understand the psychology of humans and how they react to certain things. They study your movements. They just study so many things about humans, and this is what they get paid to do. So please, just protect yourself. Innocent, please protect yourself. Guilty, do as much as you can to protect yourself. But I'm just gonna let you know, I'm hoping that your ass get got, because I don't mess with people who are bad and criminals. So if your ass get got, your ass get got. Serve you fucking right. All right. All right. So I do have another one for you good folks. Just make sure you're hitting the like button for me. I truly appreciate you. I truly, truly appreciate. Oh, there's many classes. You can go to school. You can go to actually some colleges out here give PSYOP classes. If y'all looking to know more about the psychology and to study certain things about individuals, you can go take a PSYOP class. And once you get the foundation of the PSYOPs, you will never look at the world the same again. I'm going to tell you that, okay? All right. So the next case that I have for you individuals is a grandma. So apparently a grandma opened up the door to one of her worst nightmares, have to do with, I think, her grandson. So I think this is a good case that we need to look at. And I'm going to pull up my screen so we can check this out, okay? Let's see. Lover said it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. Correct. Just like truly when it comes down to law, right? It's not about necessarily about you being innocent or guilty. It's whether or not do you have enough facts and is there more plausible evidence that can prove whether you're guilty or not. This is why we know that some people can be completely guilty of a crime and they can get let go. And people who can be completely innocent of a crime and they can spend the rest of their life in jail. You know, our system is not perfect, but I think that we are the closest to perfect as we can possibly get, because we can know how things play out in other places, right? Where you don't get no fair share or not even get a chance to even fight for yourself. But let's go on, guys.
My grandson evidently killed himself last night. He's cold. You can't move him.
The people off behind us watching with binoculars and stuff.
Okay, do you know what happened? No, I don't. His head is back. His eyes are open.
He was murdered. I don't know.
Had his head covered.
His head was covered?
Yeah, he had the blanket up over his face.
What you just heard was the chilling voice of Jonna Pulliam calling 911. The grandmother had just found her 14-year-old grandson, Harley Starling, dead in his bed on, of all days, Halloween morning. As the horrifying details of the case emerge, she learns that this was more than another tragedy, but something far more sinister. It's the night before Halloween 2016 in Springfield, Ohio, and the Starlings are safe at home marathoning a parade of horror movies, such as The Eye and Paranormal Activity. In the room are the Starling brothers, including 16-year-old Nicholas Starling and 14-year-old Harley Starling, along with their grandmother Jonna and her boyfriend Victorino. When the movie marathon is over, the family turns in for the night. But when Jonna wakes up the following morning, she finds Harley's door locked and the boy unresponsive. She calls for him to wake up and unlocks the door, only to find the boy's body is blue and cold to the touch.
Were there any weapons around or anything?
I don't know if he was playing with fake blood or what. There's like the fake blood stuff all over his arm and up around his shoulder.
And you said his eyes are open too?
Yes. Okay. I shook him because I was trying to wake him up. His dad just died 2 years ago.
Okay. Are there any guns in the house?
Jonna was certain Harley had taken his own, but things weren't quite adding up. Investigators quickly got to work questioning those in the home the night of Harley's death. The interrogations began with Jonna Pulliam, who took custody of Harley and his older brother Nicholas 2 years prior to the incident. Looking back, the boys undoubtedly had a rough upbringing before moving into Jonna's custody. Their father was tragically killed, and their mother was in and out of the home. Jonna sets the scene for detectives, describing the moments that led to her discovering Harley dead in his bed.
We all left the room at the same time. I said, "Good night, I love you." He said, "I love you." And I went in my room, he went in his room.
Okay. And then you heard Nick up a couple times throughout the night.
Yeah, I heard it squeak, the door.
The door squeak?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if the cat wants out, he'll go jump on you.
Okay.
So I got my door shut. They can't jump on me. They can't wake me up.
I just want to say that that's very terrifying, right? That would be terrifying for anyone, a mother, a father, a grandmother, an aunt. You know, here it is, Halloween, it's Halloween and you got all these ghouls and goblins, all this fake blood and gore and stuff like that. And mind you, that's my favorite holiday. But that is something horrifying when you literally just think that your grandson is sleeping and all the blood that you see on them is a part of their costume, but it turns to find out that that's actually his real blood, and whatever state that you found him in, that is literally the state of your grandchild, his last moments until his untimely death. Now I'm trying to wonder out who could be a suspect. Like, I mean, of course they're going to question the grandmother because it seemed like she was the only adult in the house at that time, so they're going to question her. But hearing some of the backstory of these two teenagers having a rough life, problems with their parents, mom in and out of the house, father ended up losing his life. I'm wondering, could it have possibly be the other teen that have committed this, or did somebody else get in the house? It's hard, right? Because I have heard of cold cases that happen on Halloween where people who are serial killers have committed or went on a killing spree on Halloween, right? Using it as the perfect time to commit crimes against regular civilians. So I'm wondering, does that play out too? Also hope to hear whether or not if anything in the community had anything to hear about someone going around unaliving people or missing persons. Those are things that I will want to hear. Let's see. MJ's a demon. No, I am not a demon. I'm not a demon. No, absolutely not. It's just my favorite holiday. I'm not a rich man, but I'm not going to leave my daughter to the mercy of the justice system. She works, so she's paying me back for the lawyer, but she's free, and that's what counts. That's what you're supposed to do. You do what you can. Same love. Oh, you do? You like Halloween too? Okay, cool. Sean said, and grandma's probably feeling some kind of way after this. I think so too. Brucey said, that's your holiday too? That's your favorite holiday? Oh, okay. It's okay, Southern. I know you were joking, but you might be right though. I'm just saying. I'm just playing. Wasn't he in a locked room? I think he was. It could have been. I can't make that out. Sounds suspicious. Yeah. Michael Myers is real. Man, what's going on?
They do wake up Nick.
Okay, so Nick will let them up?
Yeah, he'll let him out.
Okay. So then you saw him up, and then,
Yeah, that's on the video.
and then you woke up again in the morning at 5.
At 5, I hollered at Nick, and he said, yeah. When I came out and I asked Nick, and Nick was coming out of the bathroom, he said, yes, I'm going to get him up. And he walked over to the door, and he says, Grandma, the door's locked. Usually it's not locked, so.
Okay. So then what happened?
So then I went and got the key,
Okay.
and I unlocked the door.
Okay.
She's using a lot of open palm gestures, which can indicate she has nothing to hide. When interpreting what open palms mean in body language, it all depends on the context. It's typical in normal conversation for someone to use a mix of both high confidence, palm down, and low confidence, palm up positions. In this context, Jonna is simply telling her story and is not making any.
Yeah, the video essayist is going to explain the palm situation. So when you know how people talk with their hands, like for me, for example, I'm from New York, right? A lot of people talk with their hands up here. Normally when they're having a conversation or they're explaining to you a juicy story, they're using their hands. And if their palms is up, it signifies like, you know, like, I don't know, like what's going on? Like, listen, this is what happened. Like, this is crazy. So it's like more on how can I put it? I'm a spectator to what's going on. When someone is using their hands and the palm is down, that usually shows that they're more than a spectator. Like this is their story. This is something that they might have involvement in, or they're kind of lying. So if you see those different gestures, people interchange with them within a conversation, just like the video essayist was saying. They will change from raising their palms up and putting it down, depending on what you're talking about. So those are little things that you want to pay attention about, even when speaking to regular people who use their hands to have conversation, to express themselves. These little key things can, make a big difference about whether or not if someone is telling you, telling the truth about something, or whether they're lying, whether they're giving you their real perspective of something, or are they just, spilling out bullshit. But let's see. Roman said Halloween is so bad that shelters will not even allow people to adopt black cats for at least 5 days prior to Halloween. A lot of crazy stuff happens on Halloween. Yeah, that's interesting information. I didn't know that. Yes, because it's the devil's day. It's not the devil's day, Southern. Imagine having a check candy to make sure it hasn't been tampered with, so that your kids don't end up in the hospital, all for one holiday. Well, like I said, that's when people are not even acting like people. People are masquerading as everything else but themselves, right? You put on a costume. You could be John, you could be Pirates of the Caribbean. You could be the Purge. You could be all these different type of people, a cat, a dog, a witch, whatever not. People take advantage of that. They take advantage of when they can put a mask on. But the funny thing about it is, most people are wearing masks every single day. When they're acting like they're a regular, normal, regular smuggler person, it comes to find out when we look at these cases that these people be having full demonic, existence in them. They're having a full psychotic episode. They're not even on the same level, period, with regular folks, but they seem so normal, right? If you cut off my hands, I couldn't talk to you. Oh my God, not you, a hand gesture moving person, Bruce. Joanne said definitely Southern, but it sounded off for about 20 seconds. Oh, okay. It was messing up. Just let me know in the chat if it's messing up, okay? And then I'll just have to refresh. But let's go on. So far, I'm
strong declaratory statements, so her frequent and appropriate hand gestures are likely a sign of truthfulness.
But nothing out of their routine seemed odd.
No, just to the fact the door was locked.
Right.
Okay.
And you said you noticed his window was open.
Yeah, Nicholas noticed his window was open.
Nicholas noticed.
He said his window was open. I said, was it open? I didn't notice.
Were his curtains closed or were they open?
They're automatically closed. They're just always closed. The people walk behind us watching with binoculars and stuff, so I try to always keep curtains up.
Okay.
There was weird people.
Have you had problems with them in the past?
No, just they're peeping toms.
They're just weird.
If you got a curtain off, they're looking.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, I've not been in your house, so I may ask some questions and you're like, well, yeah,
okay.
He's probably been the only one not in your house today.
Okay.
So you said you saw Nicholas on the monitor, so I'm assuming you have two different monitors?
No, I have one monitor. It has all four cameras on it.
Did you see what Nick was doing at all?
He just went to the door and opened the door. I thought it was my funky neighbor asking for money.
Jana's demeanor is a little more upbeat than one would expect for a grandmother who found their young grandson deceased, but everyone handles grief differently. Reflect back to the 911 call, and you'll notice she was fairly calm then, too.
My grandson evidently killed himself last night.
She may not want to break down in front of the detectives, so she laughs and makes jokes in order to cope with the loss.
Well, there's really no easy way to go about this part. The autopsy, they're still working on it, actually, as we speak. Okay? Well, what we do know is that we're not investigating a homicide. Okay, he didn't hurt himself.
The injury that he's sustained.
Hey, AJ. Happy Sunday. He said
We're not
grandma did it.
yet. We're still trying to piece everything together. Any reason to think that your boyfriend would do something like this?
No.
How about Nick?
I wouldn't believe that Nick would do it either.
The possibility?
I wouldn't think so.
Okay.
Notice the immediate and resounding no for the boyfriend. But when she's asked about Nicholas, she uses a qualifier saying, I wouldn't think Nicholas would do it either, indicating that she may be a little uncertain as to his innocence.
I find that quite weird because the boys' room was locked. So how did anybody get in? And who locked the door? Did the boy lock the door? Did someone lock the door? Did he lock the door? Who locked the door? Why was the door locked? And if you think Nicholas has something to do with it, wasn't it Nicholas that went to tell you that he's not getting any response from your grandson and that the door was locked when he went to go check in? You had to go and get the keys because when you knocked on the door, he didn't answer or respond either. And that's how you found him in the bed. I find it weird that she possibly believed that, Nicholas has something to do with it. But she was very clear and direct when she said that her boyfriend would not have done anything like this. So I think that this is going to lead the detective to ask her about the relationship between the two boys or some character explaining about Nicholas, since she's not too sure whether if he's innocent or not innocent, which is kind of concerning. However, I would also say too that it's quite concerning about how she's acting as a loving grandmother who lost her grandson. Your grandson was in your possession. You was trusted as to watch him, take care of him, protect him. This happened all under your watch. It doesn't even seem like she has even a hint of, I don't know, like, she doesn't seem like, I'm not trying to say that she's supposed to feel guilty, but you would think that she would feel a kind of way like, Dad, I can't believe this happened under my watch. I can't believe this happened under my house. She doesn't really sound like that. She sounds very calm, like the video essayist said. She sounds a little bit too calm to me personally. She sounds too calm. She's talking in reference of her grandson as if she just read an article online, or she just saw a news report about somebody else's family member losing their life on Halloween. She doesn't sound like she lost her grandchild. Like, if I didn't know that this was her grandchild and I was just looking at this without any detail, I would think that she would be talking about somebody else and not someone who's of her immediate family. So to me, that's very alarming, but let's see what else she has to say. Hopefully, maybe the detective asks her those particular questions about Nicholas, since she shows some, she's not too sure about him.
He was my baby from 2 weeks old, 3 weeks old.
Okay. How have things been since you got him 2 years ago?
They've had rough in and out,
Okay.
Because, their dad dying. And I found out he didn't allow him to have any friends, and Harley was trying to make friends with everybody at school.
Sure.
Now we hear a strain in Jana's voice. This is the first time we've audibly heard Jana express sadness. Remembering what the boys were like when they were younger and the love she felt for them may be triggering her feelings of grief.
I went from trying to figure out why he would kill himself to who would kill him and why.
Mm-hmm.
What would they advance? There's no advantage to it.
It doesn't make any sense to us either, okay? So that's why we're trying to figure out what the hell happened, because we don't know.
Her grief may be compounded now by feelings of stress or guilt that someone inside the home may have killed Harley. She may be wondering what signs she missed, or if she could have done anything differently to prevent this tragedy. As Jana's heartbreaking confusion echoes, investigators turn their attention to Harley's older brother, Nicholas.
Hi, Nick. How are you? You doing all right? You doing okay?
Not really sense.
Well, I understand that. So.
Immediately, Nicholas clasps his hands under the table. Interlacing your fingers can be a common way to ease feelings of anxiety or stress. The gesture is an example of an adapter, or a method individuals use to comfort themselves.
Yes, and we have seen another example of that. I did a case last week, and we saw the suspect holding one of his wrists with his arms. That is to keep calm, keep his composure, and if he was having any questions, his voice his tone don't change. That is an adapter. So those are some of the things that you could tell people are using to soothe themselves. Let's see. Bruce said may have someone in his home dead, right? Sean says, I'm a grandparent that lost a grandson. Crib death. Oh my God. I'm so sorry, Sean. But I could not be controlled. When they questioned my son about it, I really went off. Didn't care who was around. Oh my God. My condolences, Sean. I'm so sorry. So sorry.
It's comforting because it subconsciously restores a sense of control in what could otherwise be a totally out-of-control situation. And this situation certainly fits the bill.
Okay, so when you went to bed, was anybody else still up?
Well, as far as I can tell, everyone was going to sleep.
Okay.
Well, then about 11:30, I gone and got the dogs, took them out. And then later, I got back up because I didn't sleep until I got the dogs back in.
Okay.
Try and walk up.
Okay, do you leave your door open or closed?
Open.
Open? Okay, so if anybody else is not moving around or anything like that, you would know that. Okay? Okay. You went to bed.
I am kind of heavy.
Okay.
There's a notably long pause before Nicholas answers about his sleep, and it's not just his slow speech. Throughout the interview so far, Nicholas has presented as someone much younger than he actually is. In one instance, he provided unnecessary and excessive detail given the question asked, indicating that he might have trouble understanding the intended meaning of simple questions.
And they're pretty big dogs, aren't they?
No, one's a little dog. He's a mixture between a beagle and a basset.
Oh, okay.
Biggest dog with the clouded eye.
He might not be understanding it, or that can just be game, right? We have seen other individuals in other cases who give a whole bunch of unnecessary details and would not answer the question directly. They'll tell you about what the person ate last Wednesday, who's the last person they were having sex with, everything outside of answering the questions that the detective asked them directly. Yes, no, or I don't know, right? That can be a tactic that he's using, not just necessarily him not understanding what's going on. He is the older brother. That doesn't mean that just because he's older means that he's more mature or he understands things more. We get that, right? We live in a society that even older people, even older children have ADHD or any dyslexia, any kind of situation where they can not gather things, I guess, correctly, if I'm going to put it in layman terms as possible. But that can all be just a trick to make the detectives believe that maybe we need to hold off on asking him asking him these particular type of questions, because he might not necessarily understand what we're trying to get from him. And he could be alluding to that, leaning on the fact that he is young and using it for his advantage. Southern said, I call them bullshitters or full of it, right? A deterrent to seem innocent. Exactly, Bruce. He could be definitely using it in that way. I mean, it's not like we haven't seen it before. You remember the girl? You remember the girl with the boyfriend who unalived the grandparents? Mm-hmm. Prime example right there. But let's go on.
Is a mixture between chocolate Labrador and pit bull.
Okay.
In addition to his monotone speech, his speech is also slow. Nicholas seems to struggle with expressing himself verbally. This may explain his slower delivery, as he could need time to think about what he wants to say, or he may struggle to find the right words. All of these characteristics are typical of individuals with autism spectrum disorder, ASD. We can't make any conclusions about Nicholas's diagnosis based on an interrogation tape, but he displays some...
Oh my God. That is crazy. Made the statement in reference of older children having those type of issues, whether it's ADHD and all the stuff like that. Like, that is just, but I do believe that it's, to me personally, like, it's game, because even before the detective came in, he had his arms crossed. As soon as the detective came in, he uncrossed his arms and decided to cross his fingers under the table. So he was already prepared to put on whatever show he needs this detective. All of that pausing and actually, I wouldn't tell you to rush and just answer something, right? But those pause that he done is strategic. It does give him enough time. It does give him enough time to decide whether or not if he wants to answer the question directly, or do he wants to diverge and give other details that really it doesn't help. It wouldn't help you. Nobody cares what the cat ate yesterday. Like that doesn't really help the situation. So it's surprised. I'm really surprised that that they actually literally said what I said. And I swear to God, guys, this is my first time viewing it. Most of these cases, when I view it with you guys, it's the first time me actually reviewing it. So we're doing it at the same time. I did not know that they were going to say that. I swear I did not know.
I've gone through their boxes, opened their cages, walked to my bedroom store, gone through a room, opened the back door, then around, roasted.
It's important to note that most individuals with autism spectrum disorder do not commit acts of violence and murder. According to research, it's the presence of other conditions, co-occurring disorders, such as personality disorders, mood disorders, or psychosis, that can contribute to a greater risk of violence among individuals with ASD.
Thank you.
I'm not going to go into details about my dreams.
Your what?
My dreams.
Okay, I'm not worried about your dreams.
Individuals with developmental disabilities often take words, statements, and questions very literally. This can be part of their general struggle with interpreting language and communication. Even though no one asked him, Nicholas wanted to make it clear that he doesn't want to go into details about his dreams. But one thing Nicholas hasn't made clear that his grandmother Jonna did is her genuine interest in what actually happened to Harley. She asked detectives for answers again and again.
I went from trying to figure out why he would kill himself to who would kill him and why. Mm-hmm. What would they advance?
That isn't the case so far with Nicholas, who hasn't asked at all.
So after everybody else went to bed, you actually go to sleep though?
After I was done watching Ghostbusters.
Okay. Once that got over.
Then I turned it off. I turned the TV off, went to my bed, and got
Okay. So what time do you think you got to sleep?
I think about 1 something.
So you go to bed, and what time do you get up?
Well, I got up about 5 o'clock when my first alarm goes.
Okay, 5 a.m.
I got to take a shower. And then when I got out of the shower, I got to Harley's door.
Okay.
I knocked.
Okay.
I said, Harley, it's time for you to take a bath. He didn't answer.
Notice that his tone changes when discussing Harley. Until now, we've heard a mostly monotone Nicholas, but now, just like that, he sounds almost agitated when he speaks Harley's name.
That's because he had a problem that he had a problem with Harley. I don't know if he believed that Harley was getting more attention than him. Harley was treated like the golden child, or he couldn't do no wrong. He was the twinkle in grandma's eye. You did hear how grandma spoke about Harley. And another reason why I think that the reason why his tone changed when he actually said his name, because if he does suffer from any ADS, ADHD, things of that sort, some individuals who suffer from that tend to, I don't want to call them narcs, because they're not narcs per se, but they need attention. Like a lot of the things that they do is for validation from other people. They need to feel important. And he was very comfortable to talk about himself and how, and also even before the detective even asked him about his dreams, he made the detective know that he didn't want you to discuss what he dreams about. Now you will ask yourself, why would he ask that? Why would he why would he say that statement to the detective if she didn't never bring it up? She didn't bring up about your dreams, but you want it to be known. Two things come to mind for that. Whether or not if he's already in therapy because of these particular disabilities that he might have, and he's already speaking to someone who talks about his dreams and thoughts and what's going on in his head, how's he's feeling today. Do he have someone that he's already speaking to about that? Or did he want the detectives to ask him about his dreams so he can talk about his dreams that will also remove it off of Harley. Remember, we are all here because Harley was found unalived in his bed, and this is his older brother who's more concerned about getting his feelings off and getting whatever's off his chest and making the situation about him instead of actually answering the questions directly and talking about Harley. But I mean, like I said, I can be wrong, but that's what I'm really getting from it. That was a very distinct change in his tone of voice when he said his brother's name. That didn't sound like someone who was mourning a sibling. I'm just saying.
He's also not frontally aligned with the detective, meaning he isn't facing her directly. This can indicate a person is being deceptive and or feels uncomfortable. It's also part of a behavioral profile for deception, along with being slouched, using barriers, and being unnaturally rigid for long periods of time. Each one alone is not definitively meaningful, but it is when you have other indicators.
So when you knocked twice, he didn't answer?
No.
Okay, and then what happened?
Well, after I was done trying to get him out, I told Grandma that he wasn't responding.
Okay, did you go into his room any time before you woke Grandma up?
No.
Okay.
Well, she moves through a key. She finds the key to his bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
She opens it, tells him, or says it's time for you to get up.
You know, my child hates that, Brucey. Oh, he loves it.
That he's not rude for her.
Hey, Lana, how are you? Happy Sunday, dear.
And keep it in right. Like she is. Window open, I shut it.
It's how far open.
Like an
It's hardly late response. But it's strange that his brother would be more concerned with shutting the window.
Like it.
This time, the investigators is a signifier of the freedom of the victim, and is almost never doesn't know the victim.
How far is your room? His room. Right more than ours. You sure you shut the wall up? Alright, let's say this. Walk in, I made a walk in his room.
And do you have a window in your room?
No. Yeah. Actually, doesn't.
Do you usually sleep with the window open?
Nobody doesn't lock his window.
This is true, but even Jonna's earlier description of the sketchy neighbors. With them to keep windows locked.
It's glitching? Is it still glitching? Okay, thank you guys. I'm going to refresh right now. Can everyone hear me? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. I'm going to pull it back up. I just refreshed, so hopefully that helped the situation. Can everyone hear me? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Oh, you thought it was you? Oh, dang. Just let me know if everything is good. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that, guys.
Locked. After all, Jonna's surveillance setup shows she's clearly concerned with safety.
I have one monitor. It has all four cameras on it. It sits by the bed.
But what could this mean? Well, for one, Nicholas is not so covertly trying to convey to the detectives a theory that an intruder came through Harley's window and killed him. It's also possible that this is another example of his difficulty understanding language and communicating.
So we're asking permission if we go into your building. We're not looking for anything that may embarrass you, or that's not what we're looking for. We're going to be connected to this. And if we don't think we'll take anything.
Good one.
Okay? Is that okay? What would you be concerned about going and finding? I understand that.
Because no one is under arrest for the crime at the moment, this room without permission could be a potential Fourth Amendment issue. The detective is asking for his permission so she can avoid the delay in needing a warrant, but also to pry for information on just what might be in that room. Notice also that detectives have yet to read Nicholas's Miranda rights, which could come into play later in the case.
Do guns or anything like that they need to be aware of?
Around it,
There was something that Nicholas said that kind of also, outside of his body mannerism, that also made me believe that they're on the right path now, questioning him. It had to do with the window situation. So his window was open. However, he said, yeah, that doesn't mean that that his brother would close the window, but it was a thing in the house that the grandmother would want the window closed. Maybe they might be in an area that was dealing with burglaries, and that's why she had all the cameras around the house. But the reason why, like, why do you know about his window? Like, if you're on the other side with your own room, or you have a room that is being split by a wall divider, then you don't really know if he has his window open or not. But he had, the way how he said it about the window. Yeah, the window, the window was open, but it doesn't necessarily mean that he locked it. Well, how do you know that? How do you know that unless you was actually fidgeting with his window? Remember, his room was locked. So how do you know that his window was unlocked? You remember you went to go get your grandma to get the keys to go inside the house. So how do you know that his window was unlocked? Was the window left open? And it's funny how he didn't even give, I guess, what is it? He didn't even show the detective there's a possibility that somebody probably could have came from the window. He tried to stray away from that as much as possible. So those are a few things that I'm like, I don't know, Nicholas, you're not telling everything. Now I'm kind of wondering, was there a slam lock on his door? Because then now it make perfect sense why the grandmother had to go get keys and the door was locked. What if he went in there, did whatever he did, clicked the little slam lock on the door and just closed the door? The grandmother wouldn't know, right? The grandma would just think that the teenager had his door closed. When does a teenager not close their door? When they want their privacy. Let's see. It's still glitching? Is it still glitching, guys? Let me know. Put a 1 in the chat. Is it still glitching? I don't know why, because on my side it's not glitching anymore, or it doesn't even look like it's glitching. Bruce said it was too matter of fact for him not to have been in that room. Right. Even a half truth is still a lie. Yeah. Lana said it could. I hope it's not glitching, guys. I really do.
Give us a baseball bat in case anyone tried to break it.
Sure. Well, I understand that. Other than that, anything? I mean, is there or something you're concerned about or anything like that?
No, I just don't want you to be freaked out about the gate in my house.
Correct. Is it okay with
Yeah. Most people
Oh,
that.
okay. I'm sorry about that.
Don't be sorry.
I don't know why it's doing
On my
that.
background picture.
look at
So
something more
nobody's
about
attacking my stream.
Yeah, these officers were on by me to take anything they find of evidence to revalue. Okay, so that means that they find something specific that would be, would have been used in your brother's death or something like anything like that they'll find in there.
Just that.
Okay.
No, I forgot. Can I depend for Did the bats cause your brother's death?
Okay, thank you, Sean. I don't know why he's doing
No. Why would no. Okay. Okay. Because I didn't hear anyone break my window to get it.
Okay, well, that would make sense. Okay?
Non-committal answers like, as far as I know, or to the best of my knowledge, can be cues that someone is not being truthful. It's less stressful for a deceptive person to give vague responses rather than flat-out lies. The detectives likely already know by the body and crime scene photos if a bat was used in this crime, or at the very least can tell if the victim was hit with a blunt instrument.
Saturday night, I wore these pins and I got fake blood. Okay. I know the deal. I kind of got mad and just threw it away.
Okay.
He could be getting sweaty palms as he rubs his hands on his knees while his blood. The same blood he claimed was fake blood.
Where is that?
The long pause he takes is another red flag. He seems to be trying to figure out how to answer this question.
See, and that's another thing too. So yeah, his palms started sweating because now they're talking about the blood, and now he's saying that he got blood on his clothes and he threw it away. Why would you just throw your blood? Why would you throw your bloody clothes away? You know, unless it's really, really stained. I mean, I know some people who do that, right? They'll throw the jeans away or whether or not, but most of the time people will try to, wash their clothes if they got blood on it or something like that and wash the clothes and try to get it out. But he said, no, I just threw them away. So now the detectives is asking, well, why do you have blood on your clothes? Did you cut yourself? Did you get hurt? Did you, did you bust your lip on accident? Did you bang up your knee and, or cut your knee? Did you fall on the ground on concrete? What was the reason why your clothes was bloody? And he's sitting there rubbing his head now, giving another signs that he's trying to figure out what he can say that seems reasonable and logic if he had to explain it to someone. He's just giving too many body signs of he knows something. Like he actually really knows what happened to his brother. The way how this is showing up, it's not looking good. It's really not looking good. It really does look like he might be the one who harmed his brother. And now, even if the detectives decide to go with that narrative that, he's a possible suspect now, they're going to have to get him in the right mental state for him to confess why he would do it or what happened. Did you and your brother have an argument? Did he take something? Did he, is he dating your girlfriend? Like what happened? What led to this? So now they're going to have to be a little bit more smart when talking to him and not give him any ideas that they're on to something. Because right now he feels that he's playing them very well. They think that he's not that bright. They think that, obviously he might have some behavioral issues, right? So they're using, kitten gloves with him. So he thinks this is working. But I hope there's going to be a point into this interrogation where the detective switch it to the point where it's comfortable enough to express more of his feelings about his brother. I think that the route that they should take is if they address him in a way where he has the opportunity to really show how he feels about his brother, show the animosity or the anger that he has towards his brother, then they'll get all the information that they need from him because he wants to be listened to. He needs validation. He needs for someone to care about his feelings and how he views things and how he sees things. So yeah, I hope that is lagging hard. Am I lagging? I don't know, because like on my side it's not lagging at all. So I mean, I'm not playing nothing right now. Let's see if I'm gonna play the video. Let me know if it's lagging, okay, guys?
As the bloody clothes are likely hidden somewhere around the home.
I think they're in the trash. Okay. Thank you. We'll be right back. Okay. Yeah. I think you might want to fix that home wall too.
Yeah, we had a guy got kind of angry at us. He drove our wall.
Also strange is Nicholas's concern with the hole in the wall. With the detectives gone, he actually takes a moment to walk across the room and inspect the wall up close, mesmerized by the flaw. Given the circumstance, most people would be solely focused on the murder of their brother, to the point of possibly not noticing such a detail, or not caring enough to mention it. Bringing it up may be a way to alleviate his own feelings of anxiety, as it's a distraction from the intensity of the questioning. He likely feels very out of control in the police interrogation room, and identifying this flaw may give him a brief feeling of confidence. While in another room, detective allowed John Napoleon and another family member to sit together and talk.
He was murdered. I don't know. I don't know.
All right, is the video still lagging or staticky? Is this like short circuiting? Put a 1 in the chat for me. Is it still having problems? Because I might have to refresh the video again. Just put a 1 in the chat for me, because I want y'all to really see this. So if I have to refresh the video, I'll refresh it. It's the video? Okay. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me stop sharing my screen. Let me refresh it and see if that works, okay? All right, I'm going to pull it back up. Thank you. Thank you, guys. And I'm going to see if this helps, okay?
Likely feels very out of control in the police interrogation room, and identifying this flaw may give him a brief feeling of confidence. Meanwhile, in another room, detectives have allowed John Napoleon and another family member to sit together and talk.
He was murdered. By who? I don't know. I kind of figured he was murdered because nothing was making sense. They couldn't find a gun. They have to have a murder weapon. How could it be there?
The fact that this conversation is allowed to happen means detectives have already cleared both of them as suspects.
Is it better?
The detectives will also want to see if they can learn anything useful by recording them discussing the crime and the boys. Jana is visibly distraught and shows a lot of emotion through her words, tone, and body language. In comparison, her relative appears less emotional and is looking at the situation logically, which is how some people handle stress. She may also be trying to stay strong for Jana and offer her support.
I told Nicholas we maybe move somewhere else because I don't know that I can take coming in here and seeing Hardy every day.
While this conversation continues, over in the other room, Nicholas is waiting for another round of interrogation, but he barely moves as he waits for the detectives to return after almost an entire hour, all the while showing what seems to be a complete lack of anxiety. But everything isn't always as it appears. Sometimes what looks like a lack of empathy and indifference could be due to his inability to recognize, manage, and understand his own feelings because of his potential developmental disability.
Hey, Nicholas. You remember me? I'm Detective Jordan. Who spoke out there?
Yeah.
Did you guys trick or treat yesterday? Or on Saturday?
Saturday was for the
Interestingly, the detective is in a closed stance as well. You can see his arms in front of his body interlocked in a barrier position. Typically, detectives trying to push towards an honest confession would be in a very different body position, leaning forward with their elbows on their knees, like the other officer.
Your brother, what was he like yesterday?
Like he was alright. Was it? Okay. Like he wasn't looking down around.
Thank you guys. I'm glad it is better now. I'm glad that it's working much better. I don't know what was going on. I just have to refresh it on its own, and I'm glad it is working better. But even with this this young man, you can tell that he is uncomfortable. I don't know if that is a play on the detectives to make him feel like he's uncomfortable, or if he's concerned about being caught at this point, because he can't really explain away why he had blood on his clothes. It wasn't fake blood, and he threw he threw his clothes away. His body mannerism is off the chain. I'm really not getting I'm not getting sociopath from him. I'm getting psychopath from him. That's what I'm getting. You could definitely tell that he does have a personality disorder. I don't know if this is something that he was using for quite some time to get away with things, but you could definitely tell that he has some animosity against his brother. I don't know if his brother was getting him in trouble. Hopefully, these two new detectives are going to start asking the dynamics of their relationship as siblings. There's a reason why they changed it out to these two detectives and they don't have the woman anymore. When they had the woman and she was questioning him, he wasn't a suspect at all. He was just he was considered a victim to being in a household and his brother was unalive. Now they have both of the detectives there because this is now him turning into a suspect to this particular crime. So the details and the things that they're going to ask him is going to be things that can now incriminate him. At the point when he's speaking with the lady, it was just, I'm speaking to an eyewitness of what they saw. But after having that conversation with the lady and pretty much studying his mannerisms when asked certain questions about his brother, this is now something that he is a suspect for his brother's murder. So let's see how this is going to play out. Let's see. Bruce said the cop is trying to make him feel comfortable. He is mimicking their perp's posture. Hey, Swifty. Hey, Moa, how are you? Happy Sunday. Oh, no. So we don't want that in here. Good. Oh, somebody got rid of him. Good. Thank goodness. Okay. Southern said jealousy. I think so. If he has that type, if he has that those particular personality disorders, that could be a possibility. Sean said we all respond differently to certain situations. Now the blood I can't explain, or throwing away the clothes. Right. So I wouldn't necessarily hold it against about his reaction. However, like I said, his tone in reference to when they started to ask questions about his brother, it did change. He kind of even said his brother's name in a lovely kind of way. The blood, that's a red flag to me. I mean, it's Halloween, but then you had real blood. It wasn't fake blood. You had real blood. Because if it was fake blood, why throw your clothes away? Just put it in the washing machine and wash it. Right? It's Halloween. Fake blood is supposed to come out. You wouldn't have to worry about it. It's nobody's real DNA with that. But to literally, quote unquote, throw your clothes away, I don't know. He may blame his brother for his daddy's death. That could be a possibility. Let's go on.
We want to ask you some more questions, more in detail about some of the things that happened yesterday, okay? Before I do, I'm going to invite you up to rise, okay? All right. Once I'm finished reading this, if you have any questions, just let me know, okay?
The detectives Mirandize Nicholas as they're about to turn the heat up and confront him about his previous statements.
Didn't I just tell y'all? Didn't I just tell y'all? I just said that. I said, why did the detectives change? I just told you why that the detectives changed. See, it's just like, I don't know. Like, see, y'all can go ahead and continue. The ones who want to doubt me, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I just said why he is no longer speaking with the lady detective and why he's speaking with these two. I told you that the real questions was going to come up because now he's a suspect. And when he was talking with that lady, he was a victim of witnessing a crime. I just said that. Just said it. Let's go.
They will begin to ask him tougher, more direct, and accusatory questions to finally uncover the truth about what happened to Harley. Notice also he hasn't been Mirandized till now, later in the interview process. In the beginning, Nicholas wasn't given Miranda warnings, but it's considered undisputed that he made no inculpatory statements in that window, and he did consent to detectives searching his bedroom and cell phone after all.
You guys are hanging out, you're watching movies. Everything good? You guys getting along okay yesterday? You're not upset with each other? Did you guys get in a fight about anything?
We didn't really ever.
Okay. Were you mad at each other?
No, but years. Yeah.
What did you guys argue about?
Who could get the last piece of chocolate cookies? And also stuff like who was playing out who's sister.
What?
You say you were upset with each other over just the candy thing at first?
It wasn't that upset.
Did you guys argue about it?
A little bit.
Why, did he get more candy than you did?
No, our grandma gave us one of those boxes to have the marshmallow cherries in it.
Did he eat the majority of those?
Yeah, he ate the majority of them. Our grandma gave us a share.
She gave to you to share, but he ate all of them.
No, I ate 2, he ate 3. The last one was the one we had. Tonight you go on. It didn't last very long.
No, okay, but you just didn't want him to have it, or why did you guys argue? What was said when you were arguing?
Not much.
Nicholas's response is vague and evasive.
I hope he did not unalive his brother over candy. If he unalived his brother because he took most of the candy, then this boy has problems. The problems that I stated that he possibly was showing signs of. There was a few indicators that was showing that he has behavioral problems. And it seems like he's on the extreme side. You can kind of tell that he has a hard time expressing himself. I mean, like his words, he expresses himself with his words, but not necessarily with his voice. You can't really tell if he's angry or if he's mad because it's monotone. And what did I tell you guys, right? Sociopaths, their emotions are from 0 to 100. It fluctuates. 1 minute they can be high and happy as a kite, and the next minute they can be so low. I hate the world. Everyone's against me. Blah, blah, blah. I want to kill myself. I'm suicidal. That is a sociopath. A psychopath, their emotions are mundane. You talk about death. You talk about birthdays. You talk about weddings. They all are the same thing. They feel the same way. And the way how he's been acting this whole entire time, his emotions has even been the same. He's now even expressing the story that he had gotten an argument with his brother over candy. And he said that he was very angry about it, but does it seem like he was really angry about it? Is the way how he's talking about this story is very similar of how he was talking about how he found his brother. Nothing has changed. Nothing. Wait, hold on. Bruce said, didn't I say he took my candy? You did say that. Sean said, over candy. It's Halloween. Candy is everywhere. Yes. He was mad because he ate most of the candy. Yeah. Bipolar. Yeah, I definitely think psychopath, though. One extreme to the other. Yeah. I think he's a psychopath. He's definitely giving psychopath vibes. But let's go on. The vague and invasive way of answering questions.
He may not want to admit how serious the argument was, as that could portray him in a negative light. The detectives want to see if things might have escalated into something more, as this seems too minor to have motivated Nicholas's anger.
Where do you let the cat out? In the cat front door. The front door. Do you keep the cat in your room at night? Your bedroom at night, or they just roam through the house?
They roam through the house.
You tried to string around the cat. I'm just curious why a cat had a string around its neck. Did you do that?
No.
Who did?
I don't know.
You don't know? You didn't see that? Did Mittens have a string around its neck when you let her outside?
No, she didn't.
She didn't? Okay. Or do you usually stay up?
Aha! So now the detectives are starting to put two to two together. So he was already abusing the poor kitty. He had a string around the poor kitty's neck. What do they tell you about children who terrorize and brutally torture or unalive animals? What do they say? It said exactly what I said. Psycho. Psycho. Potential serial killer. Someone that you have to worry about. AKA Norman Bates. Okay? Now they're starting to put two to two together. Brucey said, MJ has the right initials. Michael Jordan, the GOAT of B-ball. MJ, the GOAT of... Aw, you're so cute, Brucey. Thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, that's a tattletale sound right there. They already show signs of who was that he was hurting the cat.
Up late, do you go to sleep quickly, or you stay late?
The only days I ever stay up late is when I'm a bit sad.
When you're sad? Were you sad last night?
Yeah, but I got over it.
What were you sad about? You mind telling me?
I was hanging a big question remember, and that's what my dad.
A mention of being sad and staying up late could mean Nicholas struggles with sleep disturbances when he's sad. His father's death may have triggered issues, possibly with depression, grief, and loss.
Nicholas?
Yeah.
Obviously you know what happened to your brother, right?
Yeah.
Well, he's no longer here. We're trying to figure out what happened to your brother, okay? I think you may know some things that may help us here.
The detectives really start to key in here and begin the first step in the process of the Reed technique, a positive confrontation. The detective is going about this less aggressively than is normally seen because Nicholas is young and he doesn't want to be seen as coercive or too aggressive with him. Detectives have to be extra careful when using the Reed technique on minors or people with mental illness or disabilities to avoid any accusations of being coercive. Nicholas may qualify as someone who's more vulnerable given his age and possible cognitive delays.
We need you to be...
Yes, they have to be careful, and they also have to not re-trigger this young man. If they are already seeing signs that he has a possible mental disorder, you do not want to trigger him. Because if he says that he was triggered or he says that he was coerced and stuff like that, that could be a problem when you start to get the DA situation involved. The judge will start asking, well, what did you say? And if you had whereabouts or you saw the signs and indicators of this young man having a mental disorder, how am I to believe that you might not have put in certain things or took advantage of the fact that he has a mental disorder? which will become problematic when it comes to actually having a case for murder with him, right? Because there's a possibility that he might not even know that he actually committed a crime, or he might not be in his right state. I mean, of course, he's not in his right state of mind, but what they have to do in this interrogation is to make sure that this man, even though he might not be in his right state of mind, he knows right from wrong, and he knows that what he did to his brother by confession was the wrong thing to do. So that is where he can still be charged. If not, it will all go up to a psych evaluation, a medical evaluation, and he probably, if anything, worst case scenario, they'll send him to the psych ward in prison, which he really wouldn't be even doing no time. Let's see. Brucey said, got no use for people who harm innocent animals. All they want to do is love you. Hey, Spitfire, how you doing? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you. Sean said he started by torturing and killing small animals. Yeah. So did Brady. So did BTK. So did Gacy. Yeah, you're right. You're right. But I'm telling you, the detectives have to be smart about it. They can still question him, right? They can still question him. But now that they know that he has indicators that, you know, something's going on, they want to make sure that they get this right. They don't want to mess this up. It can get very messy real quick.
Be honest with us about something. Like what? Well, about what might have happened there last night.
Through a great deal of this intense questioning, Nicholas makes unwavering eye contact and remains very still as the detective questions his story. While many people mistakenly think that sustained eye contact is a sign of honesty, it's normal for eyes to move around a bit when talking. Sustained eye contact is actually a red flag for deception, as they're trying to check and see if they're believed. This level of sustained eye contact isn't typical for an individual on the spectrum, as this would usually be notably stressful for someone with ASD. This may cast some doubt on that possible diagnosis.
Now, you know that your grandmother has surveillance in the house, right? Right. And we're viewing that as we speak.
So again, it goes back to what I said. This is why this is a very touch and go. They have to now make sure that it's caught on camera or that is being recorded that this boy is of cognitive thought and reasoning. And even though he might have some form of behavioral issues, it is not the one that actually affects your cognitive reasoning. He knew what he was doing. He knew why he did it. And he knew why he tried to hide and play it off that he didn't know what was going on, and that he was just an innocent bystander in the household, and his brother got unalived brutally for no apparent reason. They have to establish that. Now, him staring at them the way that he is, he's reading them up and down, right? He's reading them to see whether or not, like the video essayist said, if what he's saying is believable or do they believe him. So that means he's studying the detectives. He's studying whether or not do they show signs of being sincere that they believe him or do they not? Do they don't believe him? And once he figure out whether or not if they believe him or not, if they believe him, he'll continue on with the rogue of talking the way that he is, explaining the things the way he is. He's explaining things not of someone who's of a teenager. He's explaining things that in a way that I would think I would hear it from a 7-year-old, not of a teenager, right? So he'll continue to play the rogue if he believes that they believe him in this state. But once he has the inkling that they do not believe him and they caught on to his act, he will completely shut down, which the detectives do not want him to do, right? They don't want him to do that. They want him to feel like he is the mastermind that he has plagued himself to believe, and lead with ego and keep running his mouth. Let's go on.
Is the story that you're giving me going to line up with what we see in that video? Or is there some other things that maybe we should know?
This is what is known as the bait question in the read technique. If someone is being honest, they'll likely provide a strong denial at this point, but someone who's being deceptive may answer vaguely.
Did you ever go outside for anything last night? No. Never. What if I told you we found a bowl bag not behind the house? My turn is curious.
Before the interview began, officers were spotted by a local news crew collecting a baseball bat from the side of the home.
You want to explain to me why that might be there? I don't exactly know why and all that would be there. You put it there? Yeah. Did you put it there? Yes. We found some jeans with some blood in the house. Are those your jeans? Yeah. Did you change your pants last night? Yeah. Is someone wrong here? Yeah.
You'll remember, Nicholas previously stated that he had pants with fake blood on them.
You were upset with your brother over.
So there you go. Y'all just saw it in real time. He figured out that they do not believe him. And he also figured out that this is no longer an interview. This is an interrogation to actually put charges on him. So now he's more stern with his answers and direct, and looking him directly in his face. Something that he didn't do with the lady earlier. Because like I said, he's reading him. He's trying to figure him out. So now he's looking at his quote unquote prey, studying him and seeing what did he need to do or what do he need to say, or should I just stop talking and become very defensive going forward? And now when he's answering the questions, everything is a stern no, even to the point where he just lied. He just said that he had blood on his pants and he threw them away. Now, when he asked him about the pants, no, I didn't change my clothes. What bloody pants?
You guys got into it. I understand that, brothers fight. I used to fight with my brother all the time. You're not being completely honest with me. Yes, I am. I don't think that you are. Somebody beat you when you're really bad. You beat his head. I was very, very angry. That crick split open the skull.
Nicholas appears to be indifferent and doesn't show any visible distress at hearing that his brother's head was beat in. While it's possible that he has difficulty expressing feelings the way the average person would, this response can be seen as a red flag that he's trying to hide or control his reaction to this news.
I don't like what happens on that video.
Oh, he is very smart.
How this happened, like what happened on the awesome videos up. These cinder blocks, all kinds of stuff. Just because I play a violent video game doesn't mean I'm a violent person. You're right.
This is what is called a resume response. In this case, making a broad statement about his character instead of really answering the detective's question. Another red flag. Also note the sudden change in his tone. It's an unexpected twist that Nicholas starts asking the other detective questions about the video game, because until this point, Nicholas presents as naive, innocent, childlike, and compliant. Now, though, he's being rather bold as he challenges the detective's comments.
Nicholas.
You see? You see the flip? You see the change? Y'all see it in real time. This is how you know when you're dealing with somebody who is very, very, very calculating and very, very dangerous. And he just proved that that whole innocent, naive, and I possibly am suffering with mental disorders was all a mask. Now that he really knows what time it is and that they're not buying it, he's now challenging the detective's intelligence. That's why he's now comfortable and confident enough to ask the detectives questions and questioning their reasoning. oh, just because someone might have a, an argument or get in a confrontation with someone or get angry, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're, they're a killer, right? Or that doesn't necessarily mean that they will harm someone or things of that sort. There's a reason why he asked that question. There is a reason why he asked that question, because he is now questioning their understanding of things, their perspective of things. He's challenging them in a way to see whether or not if they're hypocrites. Very, very, very dangerous young man. Very dangerous.
I can tell you're not being honest. Everything about you and your body language tells us that you're not being honest. You sure?
No problem, Brucey.
Okay. Hey, we just want to know the truth about what happened, so we can solve this for your grandma and your family. Okay.
The cat's eye burns very quickly.
What? The cat mittens, was that it? That had a string around his neck?
That's because I found out she bit some of this stuff under my desk like my games.
Just 10 minutes earlier, Nicholas denied the incident with the cat.
Who did that? I mean, you're not in trouble if you tie it. I'm just curious why a cat had a string around his neck. Did you do that?
No.
Who did it?
I don't know.
But why confess? Why change directions now? It's possible Nicholas changed his story in the hopes this lie will explain why the detectives are sensing he's not being honest, and will somehow explain his inconsistencies.
Think she choked Mitten with the string because she was mad at it?
That's what wrong.
Animal abuse is obviously a huge red flag of serious conduct issues among children and teens. Sometimes if this behavior is recognized early enough and the child receives help, it can possibly prevent tragedy later on. It's also a possibility that Nicholas developed issues with anger and sadness after the death of his father, and then began displaying behaviors like cruelty to animals.
But you understand that in watching that video, you're the only one moving around that house. Nobody else is there. This is what I think. You want to know my opinion? What? I think you went in there, you were pissed at him and killed him, and then you went back and forth between the bathroom, cleaned yourself up and changed your clothes. Those bloody pants we found were yours. You were wearing them. That's got your brother's blood on it. You took them off so nobody would find it.
By not moving and closing himself off, Nicholas may be hoping that he can avoid calling any more attention to himself, and his positioning shows he likely feels defeated, knowing his lies and cover-up aren't enough.
But I want to ask you this question. Why? What would make you so mad? What did you do that would make you so mad that you want to do that? I didn't tell. They didn't. We can't help you if you don't help us. Because if you don't tell us, then we'll never have the true story. But I know that you did. You did that to me. But why did you do it to me?
Yes, you always made it feel like
How was the treatment, correct?
I was pick something.
How does he pick them?
Possibly a statement of steps. Correct, he would buy them 60 times. Oh, scared.
So did you hit him in the head while he was sleeping? Did he know you were coming?
So he does seem defeated. They was able to crack him. He just admitted. But again, he's trying to allude to being a victim and pretty much that he was dealing with bullying. His brother threatened to harm him with weapons. He's trying to, put some victimhood on him in reference of why he did what he did. This is some scary shit, man. It's some scary shit to see him change like a shapeshifter so quickly. He is completely different than from the first interview. He's completely different. He has a whole different tone. He doesn't seem naive at all anymore. He was even showing confidence. And I do agree with the video essays about him admitting about the cat. I think that was a risk that he took finally admitting that he lied about harming the cat, to see that, okay, at this time, yes, I did lie before, but now I'm willing to tell you the truth, or at least make the detectives believe that he's willing to tell the truth. This is crazy. Absolutely crazy. And guys, the only reason why I don't have my camera on is because my camera is overheating, and I don't know why. I charged it and everything, so I might have to go and get it checked, or get its battery checked. So that's the only reason why I have my camera off. I'll probably come back on, but I'm going to come back on with my camera for my laptop, just in case if I don't get this working. But here we go.
And
good night, Ria.
Just took that back, hit him over the head. All right. Yeah. How many times did you hit him in the head? Okay.
By admitting that Harley was asleep when he hit him with a bat, any possible self-defense claim is removed from the equation.
Did you stab him with something in the neck? Well, that time then he started. Were you trying to help him die faster so he was something? I'm trying to make him be quiet.
The detective offers Nicholas the justification that he might have stabbed Harley to put his brother out of his misery. This is another part of the Reed technique, gradually increasing the suspect's comfort while not unveiling what really happened.
How many times did you stab him?
What? No, Brucey, no. Go in the corner. Absolutely not. I'm serious. My camera is overheating, and I don't know why. It must be something with the battery. I might have to change the battery for the camera. So that's the only reason why I'm not on camera. I'm not sipping no wine. I got work in the morning. Something said, Bruce, I strongly disagree. Animals aren't meant to be in the nature. So he's now talking with the detectives, and apparently they got him to admit that he did hit his brother. So this whole self-defense, that's out the window, of course, because his brother was asleep. Now, I want to know, when did that argument with your brother happen? Did it happen earlier on, and then it was just fuming inside of you, and then you decided to just take your opportunity to unalive him while he was sleeping? Or what? Like, or is that whole lying that you got in an argument with your brother, was that a lie? Because truly, I cannot even believe him. I can't even believe him with the candy situation. Like, I really don't. They said that he hit his brother 13 or 14 times in the head, and then you also stabbed him too. Like, I don't think that's all for no candy. I don't know. I really can't believe that that's off of just candy. I think it's something deeper than that. It might go back to what Bruce said about him feeling that, you know, maybe his younger brother had something to do with his father's death, or he feels that, you know, he's the favorite. Everybody listens to him. Everybody praises him. He gets all the attention. You know, he gets special treatment, and he feels left out. But you could definitely tell that he really has some hate for this brother. Really, really has some strong, strong hate for this brother. So let's go on a little bit.
I think around 2 or 3 times. 2 or 3 times. But you hit him in the head with that ball back 14 or 15 times. Yeah. And then you went outside. What did you do with the bat? He just dropped there. Did you walk outside? Did you walk out your mom or your grandmother's bedroom and then sit over the fence, or did you go to the front door? I got out and just went. You climbed out of the window. Was that why the window was open? Yes. Did you lock his bedroom door when you leave that open? Yes. Then did you go to your room and go to sleep, or have you slept at all? I got to sleep. Remember I was saying before how sometimes we all do things and we don't take time to think about it and record it, it's over with. Yeah. Were you just that bad at it for some of the stuff that you've done to you? You think that watching those video games has led you to do something like that? Did it make you angry playing those games, listening to that music, and then, no? You were just mad at your brother.
It's hard to imagine someone being able to sleep after committing such a gruesome crime against their own brother, whose dead body is also sitting in the adjacent room. But if Nicholas has no history of violence, it's likely that there was more going on aside from him being just mad.
That's because he wasn't just mad. The boy has a mental disorder, probably a undiagnosed mental disorder. He seems like a full-blown psycho. He doesn't have no problem of being cruel to animals. And whatever sparked, whatever happened with his brother, that was just his opportunity to take out whatever frustration and everything that he got going on in his head. Quite frankly, yeah, he's the oldest. He's the oldest. Yes. He is the oldest. But quite frankly, to me personally, I just think that, I think that he's just a psycho. And whether that happened because of the trauma of his death of the father, or even the in and out of the mom being in their life, pretty much being raised by the grandparent, the grandmother, that could have brought it on. But truly, I don't think so. I think that he just had something that was undiagnosed with him, and it spiraled out of control until this moment. And unfortunately, his first victim, outside of the cruelty of animals, because I don't even think that what he did to the cat was the first animal that he harmed. I don't believe that. I just think that his brother was his first example of hurting a human being. And if he wasn't caught in this situation, that whole family, the grandmother and whoever else was in there, was going to be next. Was going to be next. You could tell that the detectives are quite disturbed about, having this conversation with him by their mannerism. Their mannerism is mimicking the Nicholas. They have their elbows on the table, even though Nicholas has his elbows on the table and his head in the socket in the middle of his what's in it, that is showing somewhat of defeat. Like, all right, you got me. But like the detectives with their elbows on the table, they're kind of like defeated in this point of this interrogation, to know that this young man did such a horrible, cruel crime to their brother. It's kind of like probably very shocking to them. Nothing that they haven't experienced or heard before, but still, you still have the same feeling about it.
You were kind of upset you got in there? How long did you stay in there before you decided to grab the bat and hit him? About 2 minutes. Standing in there watching him?
It's possible that Nicholas may have felt very powerful watching Harley lay defenseless in his bed. His confidence may have built up the longer he stood in his brother's room, realizing he had the power now, and Harley's life was in his hands. Premeditation and/or lying in wait is one of the elements that can be used to charge someone with first-degree murder.
You did a lot of walking around there after your mom or your grandmother went to bed. You guys were told to go to bed even before you let the dogs out. You're doing a lot of walking around there. What were you doing? Were you thinking about doing something then? Or just waiting for them to go to sleep? How did you plan on hurting them a little? What were you going to do?
I was going to do like something bad.
As the confession develops, officers shift focus onto clarifying the whereabouts of all the weapons involved.
Hey, we were trying to figure out the knife, okay? Because you told me that after you stabbed him, you went into the bathroom and you washed the knife off, right? Okay. So then you come back and you said after you cleaned it off, did you put it back in here, or did you go take it and put it directly into your bag?
The story comes out clearly, and detectives have most of what they need.
Okay, we're working on paperwork right now. Right? You're going to be under arrest after this. We're going to take you over to the jail. We need fingerprints and photos, just like you can on TV, and then we're going to take you over to the juvenile home. Now, just talk to your grandmother, or should we just talk to your grandmother and granny? They're not mad to her, okay? For a number of reasons right now. They want to see you. Are you okay with that?
Well, it's completely up to you, okay? If you don't want to see them, we'll tell them that. If you want to see them, then we'll tell them that. You're okay with seeing them? Okay.
As he is once again fidgeting with his hands, likely an effort to reduce his feelings of stress, Nicholas may not have considered what his family was going through, as he has been so focused on himself.
I don't know what to do for them. I will do what I can. I don't know why you felt so that's your brother. You call me.
Yeah, she did know that he didn't like his brother. Remember? They were in the beginning.
A somber and tragic scene unfolds as Nicholas gets the opportunity to see his family. It's likely the detectives are allowing Nicholas to see his family for his family's benefit, not necessarily for him. The police will try to accommodate the victims if they can, especially when they endured such a horrible tragedy. It's clear by the way Jonna comforts her grandson that she loves him despite his horrific actions. She's been put into a very difficult situation, yet she's demonstrating a lot of strength in her willingness to stand by Nicholas. This is his first show of emotion, possibly because seeing and hugging his family has allowed reality to sink in. The staff brings him some food, but when he starts to open the bag, he breaks down.
He's crying not because he harmed or he's thinking about, oh my God, I really overreacted doing what I did to my brother. He's crying because all he ever wanted was all the hugs and kisses that he got from the aunt, the grandmother, and the mom, and feeling like he was special. And now he realized that he's not going to get it like that ever again. Because even though they're showing so much support, and I'm sure they do love him, it's not like they don't. And they, that's your blood regardless, right? That's your child, that's your son, that's your grandson. They know that he is now dangerous and he would harm even one of them, or they could have possibly got harmed. He's not getting that type of hug and support like that anymore. And he probably came to the realization that everything that he thought in his head about his family, not caring about him not being taken seriously, him not being important, him not being viewed special, he done lied to himself. He done lied to himself and his insecurity about himself to believe that it was the people in his family's problem, the way he felt about himself. That's the only reason why he's crying. That he's like, holy shit. I really thought that my nobody gave a damn about me. Nobody cared about me. I wasn't important or special to them. And my brother was the reason behind that. I couldn't be special because of my brother. And now he realized that shit was all in his fucking head. What he should have done, and I mean, shoulda, couldas, and wouldas, but what he should have done is once he started having those type of feelings, and I know he had those feelings way before, I don't know how old he is. He seemed like he's like 16 years old, 17. But when he started having those feelings around age 10 and 11, or even after the incident with the father's death, he should have went and told his grandmother or his aunt, because they seem like they're more attentive to him than the mom, right? Since she was in and out. He should have told them that he was having these weird feelings. He should have expressed to him that he's having feelings that he can't describe or understand, and they're not good feelings, right? They're not good feelings. There's feelings of anger, rage. I want to harm someone. I have to release whatever I'm feeling inside of me. If he would have done that, maybe they could have gotten you some help and gotten you worked through it. But no, he bottled it up inside and he let it sither, and he started thinking about things that he shouldn't be thinking about. And now he acted on it, and it led into the situation. It's sad. It's really sad. Let's see. Oh, hold on. Okay. Southern said MJ called it. He was crying because his demonic ass got caught. Yeah, exactly. What if he's lying? He sat there and lied about everything else. If grandma wasn't affectionate, she wouldn't be hugging him there. True. And also maybe that there could be a possibility too, Southern. The other side of the coin, the possibility could be that he could be showing emotions right now because he knows he's being videotaped. He knows he's on camera. He knows he's being recorded, right? And now he needs to act like he's remorseful. Probably give him less time. Probably get him into a psychiatric ward, right? Maybe that's the reason why. Sean said, but why on Halloween? Makes it creepy. Well, it was easier for him to get away with it, right? Because everybody's running around here, goblins and goblins with fake blood and gore. And, if you really think about the setup, what he did, he came through his brother's window with the bat and did that while he was sleeping. He locked his brother's door from inside the room, jumped out the window, flung the bat across the fence, very, messy with it, looked at his clothes, went from the side of where his room is at, because his room was adjacent to his brother's room. And then there was the bathroom, went there, took off the clothes, washed up, and then literally played the part, knocked on the door. Hey, bro, you up? Why is your door closed? Yo, you're not answering me. Hey, grandma, I don't know. What's the name is in his room and he's not responding. The door's closed. He played the whole scene out. He probably waited till Halloween for that purpose because it was Halloween. Yeah. Definitely seemed like, he knew exactly what to do.
Not only is reality sinking in, but now it seems it's crashing down on his shoulders. Oftentimes, murder suspects will break down emotionally when they're handed consequences, when they know they'll be suffering. In this case, Nicholas broke down emotionally at seeing his family, which is an indication that it's not the consequences he's upset about, but understanding the reality of what he's done and how it's affecting others. Still, the consequences would turn out to be severe. At first, when Nicholas received charges of aggravated murder and tampering with evidence, he pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. Defense lawyers also initially argued his case should be dismissed as a result of his young age. But ultimately, the case was moved from juvenile court to adult court. The judge made the move as a result of the severity of the crime. Prosecutors called the case the worst involving child-on-child crime they had ever seen. Although the Halloween candy mentioned in the interrogation tape seemed to be the core of the argument that sparked the chilling crime, police never did find a clear motive. At 17, Nicholas Starling changed his plea to guilty. He was convicted of killing his brother and was sentenced to 15 years to life in prison. This is a more recent look at Nicholas, years after his sentencing. He'll have to wait until 2031 for a chance at parole, but until then, he'll continue to live out his days behind bars at the Lebanon Correctional Institution in Lebanon, Ohio.
So, good on that judge for changing the situation from a juvie incident to a adult crime, because if not, by the age of 18, he would have been released from juvie. His crime of unaliving his brother as a minor would have came to an end. But 15 to 21, I don't know. Giving him 15 to life, to me, like, they really do believe that he can be rehabilitated, and that's the reason why. So until 2031, that is his opportunity to get parole. So he has to serve the whole 15 first before he can go and see if he can get parole. I don't know. I just don't believe him being rehabilitated the way that they think to, and not unless they have him in a psychiatric ward and he's getting treatment while he's in prison. And sometimes we know how that goes, right? Some of the inmates, they do go to the psych ward. They do take their medicine. Some don't. Sometimes though that can get closed, or they can not have their visits with their therapist and stuff like that if they, let's say, they don't behave if they don't behave on their blocks. Let's say they do something, violate some law or whatever, not, or some instruction of the CEO on their block, that is looked as a privilege, right? It's a privilege for you to go and speak to your counselor and or go to the library and things of that sort. So I don't know. I just don't think that was the right sentence for him. But it seems like they do believe him. They do believe that he can be a changed man, and maybe what he did was because of his current situation or his current state as a child, and that as an adult he can go ahead and live his life. But prayers to the young boy that did lose his life, though. That's terrible. Poor little psycho. I don't have a tear for you. It's not about how it's affecting others. It's how he's going to be affected. Yeah. Sean said dismiss. Come on, man. He looks even more creepy than he did as a kid. Like he stole M&Ms at a Dollar Tree. It's no big deal. Says who? Right. He literally took his brother's whole life, man. Not in 15 years. No way. Right. No, absolutely not. Yeah, that was an interesting case, guy. Very, very interesting. So again, please hit the like button for me. Truly appreciate it. I know it's starting to get late, so y'all got to go do things. Y'all have to go prepare for Monday. I get it. So I am not going to hold you any longer. I'm going to end it right here at the 3 hours and 30 minute and counting mark. I truly appreciate you guys who all rocked out with me. I hope you enjoyed these cases that we went over today. These two cases I feel are very, very entertaining. There was a lot of things that we can learn out of them. They were very informative. So I hope that you enjoyed it as well. I will send you out a notification when I go live again. Again, apologize that my camera is not working. That's the only reason why I'm not on camera. I would have stayed on camera if I wasn't having issues with it. And I apologize for all the the internet connection that was messing up during the live stream. I don't know why that was happening. That was fluke accident. So I apologize with that. I really do apologize with that. So I'll hit you up with the next notification of when I'm going live with the other cases. But again, enjoy the rest of your evening, guys. And I will see you later. Have a good day. Bye-bye.